Oh, great.
You all right?
Yeah.
It's good?
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right,
Yeah, it's been
let's
pretty
go,
good.
fellas.
Yeah.
We're
Here
here.
we are.
We're back.
Yep. This is going to be.
I feel like it's been a while.
Yeah, we've been kind of flying loosey-goosey, the seat of our pants for a while, which is kind of our MO at this point, I think. But I was talking earlier with, is it Jonathan or John?
John, either one's fine. I like, my middle name's Wayne. So, you know, Jonathan. Yeah, Jonathan always sounded like a little boy's name to me. But that is my real name. You call me whatever you want because I'm excited to be here as a guest.
John Wayne's pretty dope, dude.
Thank you.
I was actually going to introduce him as a guy with 3 names because I just called him John Wayne Freeman.
Let's
It's a
go.
lot of pressure when your dad names you that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It is.
Now the shirt makes sense.
A lot to live up to. Exactly. That's why I rocked it.
So it's kind of funny how this whole episode came about. John and I have known each other for a while, and Ryan sends me your Instagram and is like, "Dude, this dude looks fucking funny. We should get him on the podcast."
Because I've shared some of your stuff before. I'm like sending it to the guys, sending it to my wife.
Thank
Like,
you.
it's
That's
fucking
awesome.
hilarious.
Appreciate it.
and I'm like, just by happenstance, we do know each other.
This guy's about as fucked up as we are.
It's true. It's true.
Perfect fit.
Yeah, John and I met. He's always the MC for the Ert Digs, and I'm usually sitting there and taking photos, and the shit that fucking you say, egging on these little kids dig a hole, or even the adults for that matter, and then we would do strike missions out to Catalina, which always end up just being a fucking blast.
What's a strike mission out to Catalina?
Spearfishing, fishing, getting drunk,
Okay.
and hanging out on the beach, and just like a boys' trip. So it's like 5 hours and 4 Zodiacs, and we're all just going out there and rough and toughing it. And so Southern California native, new golfer, and you have been involved in action sports and surfing industry, a whole bunch of entities that actually I'm not even privy to. So this is gonna fire me up. And now recent North County political activist.
Let me give you some advice. If you want to keep all your sponsors, don't ever talk about politics.
Well, good for us. We have none. So
Yeah. like Michael Jordan said, Democrats and Republicans both buy sneakers. So just, recently I just was like, I don't really care anymore.
Yeah.
We're all going to die. So I'm going to speak up and talk, but whatever. You have your friends, you got your people that are your people, and it's all good. But yeah, born and raised in Southern California. Mom wanted to live by the beach. Dad's a full redneck, like we would have been in Tennessee or something.
We prefer Appalachian American.
Yeah, my apologies.
Redneck is offensive.
I know, but there's no way around it. It literally is. So yeah, from the time I was a little kid, like Dad had me literally infant with the ears on, the eyes out, quail, the whole deal.
Nice.
And then shooting from a little time. But my mom's like, she's not into the hillbilly stuff. She wanted to live by the beach. So yeah, he was a cop in Costa Mesa for 30 years. And I ended up growing up in Mission Viejo. And then been in Oceanside since 2010. And our family, like you said, California, is one of the original settlers in Oceanside. My grandfather worked on base.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, our family came out in like the 1890s.
Oh, shit.
So they're all buried there.
Wow.
And Freeman Street's named after us. And yeah, dude.
Interesting.
Just
That's cool.
full on like, yeah, kind of a great upbringing. But again, like this is why these podcasts are kind of funny. I listen to a lot of the military podcasts. And I love them, right?
Yeah.
But it's war stories, it's special operations. And I'm here today, Nick, because, and I told you this, Nick doesn't know this, I did serve. And I'm proud to have served for 8 weeks in the United States Navy. And there's a lot of heroes, but they don't talk a lot about the guy that gets kicked out of boot camp. And I think that's a pretty elite group. You either got to be a total fuck up, like serious, think about it. There's guys there, at the time when I joined, you don't need a high school diploma, right?
Yeah.
There's dudes that don't know how to brush their teeth.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 46.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to get kicked out, it's got
Brush
to
your
be
teeth.
got to be pretty special. So people go, "Are you a veteran?" I go, "No." They go, "Did you serve?" I go, "Yeah." 8 weeks, Great Lakes. That's my Vietnam. So that's what I'm here to talk about today.
One tour of Great
Yeah,
Lakes.
I want to share. We can get into it later, but yeah, I just want to say for you guys,
That is
I'm part of the
fucking awesome,
I'm part of the
dude.
club.
Dude, how'd you get kicked out of boot camp?
That's the dark story I want to tell you.
All right, let's go.
It's awful.
Let's dive into it.
So
yeah,
let's-
we'll zing it with that.
It's clear I'm a stud, right? Like I'm
Yes.
pretty fit. You know, I'm growing up in Southern California. My dad, full cop guy, he's on the SWAT team. So, like, I'm growing up going to those things, and a lot of those guys were Marines. Going to the air show, and I'm seeing the leapfrogs. And, like, to me, that was my Michael Jordan. I just wanted to meet one of the Navy SEALs that jumped out of the plane, but I could never get close enough to him. So I had this infatuation with the military, and then I played water polo. I'm an ocean lifeguard. I'm running cross country. I'm like, yes. And then I find this book, Rogue Warrior.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. OG.
And
You
I'm
gotta
like,
be able to bench 500
Yes!
pounds. You're like, what?
yeah, and like you punch officers in the face if they say shit to you.
Yeah.
And I read that, and as a 16-year-old, I'm like, this is insane. I want to do this. Like, who wouldn't want to be a pirate? This is the shit. And I could be on the West Coast. I could do all this. And so I start really digging in. And I'm like, I'm the type of guy, like, if I had found you then, I would have just talked your ear off. And you'd be like, please get away from me, kid. But I'm working at a dive shop. I dive and I surf. It's called Dive and Surf. And one day this little guy walks in and he has all these tattoos on and he's wearing like a Buds instructor t-shirt. And he's like looking at the dive gear and I go, holy shit. That's the sniper from the Discovery Channel show. And his name's Jason Gardner.
Jason Gardner.
And I
Yeah.
walk up to him, and it's like seeing a celebrity.
That
I'm
is
19
fucking
years old.
hilarious, dude.
And he proceeds, God bless him, for the next 3 hours to tell me stories of bar fights in Guam. This is our life. There was a guy that wanted to be a PJ at the time. He was a PJ. He's like, fuck PJs. He's like, let me tell you something. He's like, you can jump out of an airplane and fly into the mountains to fix up some guy and get him stable, or you can give him patience. And I was like, that's the coldest shit I've ever heard. So I'm like fascinated. He goes, you know what? There's a guy right now today. I'm going to a party. He just got promoted to chief. And I'm going to go to that party, and tomorrow morning, you be here when you open, and I'm going to bring you a bunch of stuff. And I'm like, oh, my God. So I'm like, there's a Navy SEAL, and he's going to be there for
Brought
me.
you a bunch of used condoms.
So he gives me all the, like, recruiting. Here's your warning order, son. Here's what you need to do. And I'm like,
Dude, what year was it?
I'm fucking on it.
Like in the 90s?
This is 2000.
Oh, 2000. Yeah.
He's
2000.
raising chickens in Idaho or something now.
And I had
He's
already...
in Washington. He lives by Bull Hill.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I'd already gone to Point Loma Nazarene for 1 year. My GPA was 2.0. I surfed, drank beer, and went to Tijuana a lot. And my parents were like, dude, you're
Lots
not.
of studying.
Yeah. But I
There's a lot
still...
of parallels with Team Guy
Yeah.
universe there.
Yeah. And no one could understand the fascination with military stuff because I was like a theater kid.
Yeah.
Like before Glee, like if you were in musical theater, people called you names. You know? They thought I was a gay.
the
I'm
F
not
word.
I'm not a gay, but I have a lot of friends, you know, that are. So I was into that, and they're like, "Why would you want to be in the military?" But I was fixated on
To
it.
prove you're not gay.
Exactly. This is what this all comes down to, dude. And I can pull it off. Like, look at the stash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a
That's
good
a good
actor.
looking porn stash.
Yeah, I can pull it off for a minute.
Yeah.
So eventually I get invited down to, like, you can do a tour of Buds, and you get to talk to some of the students that are there, and they're like telling me, guys are like, yeah, I was in a frat, I quit my frat, and now I'm, trying to be a SEAL. I'm in third phase. You should do it. And I'm like, I'm gonna do it, dude. And they tell you got to know how to run. So I run cross country in college for this specific purpose, and then finally I enlist, and it's August 6th, 2001.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So September happens, and my parents are like, holy shit, like, you're joining the Navy. I'm like, what's the worst case scenario? I try, I fail, I'm on a ship. That would suck, but, but we're going to go for it. So I'm a little older at this time. And again, I did all my studying.
Yeah.
I'm like, who passes Buds? It's like highest percentage are guys that are about 22. And I'm 22, about to turn 22 at this time. So I do the SEAL Challenge program. I get the whole thing. I pass the ASVAB shit. And I'm sent off. And before I get sent off, I sit down with this SEAL who is, he's a cop with my dad. And he was an East Coast guy. And he's like, I'm going to tell you this about boot camp and about everything. Whatever you do, for the love of God, do not volunteer for anything.
Yep.
Do not raise your hand. just fucking go. He's like, you're going to get out of shape. It's going to suck. And I'm like peak, like prime fitness, like can smoke the PFT. I'm running like 509 miles, 4 miles, doing it all. So I go, okay, locked in.
I think that was my fastest mile.
In a car.
So I'm like, okay, don't volunteer for anything. So what do I fucking do? Literally, we're about to get on the plane where you have to fly back. And they're like, hey, we need somebody to like kind of keep everyone organized. There's a bunch of knuckleheads. And I'm like, oh, I'll do it. And then they're like, oh, you have 80 units of college. You're 22. They're like, that's pretty good. And I'm like, no big deal. Then we get there and we're going through the whole processing. And I'm like, this is amazing. This is what I've wanted. I need structure and order in my life. This is what I need. And I'm like, I must be a fucking genius because there's kids here that can barely talk. They're backwoods. And I'm like, I am the brightest man in the world. I'm a genius.
I'm a star.
Yes. And then they're like, hey, we need somebody to fold some boxes to send back, all the clothes you have, your street clothes. What do? Raise my hand. Right after that, they're like, you, sir, are the RPOC. Do you remember the RPOC?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Recruit Petty Officer Chief.
Great.
They're like, you're in charge of these 75 morons. And I'm like, oh my God, what have I done?
Yeah.
Like before we even start. So life's going good, whatever. Things are going good. I have all these additional responsibilities, but all I care about is like, I want to get a bud slot, right? So the day comes for the PFT. And this is what they say. They show that video, the old Navy SEAL video. And it had like some sick rock music. And they're like, who wants to try out? And all these like fat kids raise their hands. And I'm like, there's like 2 of us that actually were there for it. So anyways, all these people try out. Me and one other guy pass it. The other guy had like a felony that he hadn't disclosed. So they like kick him out.
Oops.
So it's me. So then you have to get up even earlier in the morning to go work out with the dive motivators at boot camp.
Yeah.
Okay. And this pool is filthy. I don't even know. It's huge. It's giant. And I have problems with my ears from surfing. It's called surfer's ear.
Yeah.
So at some point from getting up early in the morning, doing all the workouts, this ear closes. And I'm like, well, I shouldn't tell anybody, we'll just power through this. Yeah. And one morning we're walking to eat and I'm like walking like this.
Oh no, the equilibrium
Like fucking
stretch.
vertigo.
And so I'm like, hey, I think I need to go to the dock. And they're like, okay.
Shut the fuck up, nerd!
Dude, exactly. And you get there in boot camp, and I don't even think these are doctors. I don't know if they're PAs, nurses. I end up with some lady who doesn't speak English.
They're like wannabe corpsmen.
Yes. And she looks in my ear, and she's like, this is not good. And I'm like, oh, my God. Like, am I going to get kicked out? And they're like, we're going to give you some medicine. Okay? So they give me this giant bottle of something with these, like, horse pills and then another bottle. And when you're in boot camp, what are they supposed to do with medicine? Do you remember this?
They got to like confiscate it or something, or keep
they
it.
lock it up.
Yeah.
And then there's a person whose job is to take it out when you're whatever. For some reason, I don't know if it's because I'm the RPOC or they just forgot. No one takes it from me. And me, being the genius that I am, I'm like, I bet if I take more of these as fast as I can,
I'll get better faster.
this will clear this ear up. Because my physical's coming up where they do like the EKG and all, and I'm just thinking about that. So I'm dumping these pills. Turns out what they are is one's just normal Sudafed, right, to clear you up, and the other one's prescription steroids, the horse pills.
Nice.
And I'm like,
Just getting jacked.
so cut to, like 2 weeks later, I'm in the bathroom, like at 2 a.m, everyone's sleeping in the racks, and there's this guy behind me, and I'm like, and I realize I'm staring at myself in the mirror, and he's like, Freeman, you're fucked up. I think you're high, buddy. And he goes, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm not okay. So I got to talk to, they're not called drill instructors. What do they call them? There's a petty officer.
CC, company commanders.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, I've been taking these pills, and I'm pretty goofed up. And they're like, oh, shit, fuck. And I remember they took them from me. They poured them in the toilet. And I remember thinking, like,
good solution.
what the fuck happened?
What the fuck,
right.
dude?
Like, thanks.
Right. So at this point, though, dude, I am in, not realizing it, never having any problem with anything mentally, physically, emotionally, my whole life. I am fucking paranoid. I am spinning out, and I'm not talking to anybody. And here's what I think. You know what? I bet they gave me this medication intentionally. 9/11 just happened.
It's a test.
It's a test. And I need to pass this test. And everybody's watching. I know there's cameras everywhere, all these drill instructors. All right. They want a fucking show? I'll give them a show. Okay? So I'm going off during the day, and I have to go do other things because you have to do the physical tests to try and do all this stuff. And I'm eating, sitting at a table with a bunch of people that aren't in my ship, they call it, and we're just at a table, and guess what pops in my head? Something I read in Rogue Warrior where he was like, yeah, I was in the chow hall, and I dumped a bunch of hot sauce onto my food, and I was eating it. And I'm looking at all these guys, and they call you Chuck. They kept calling us Chuck. I don't know if you remember this. They'd go, shut up, Chuck. It was just like a derogatory name that they would call you. So I start eating with my hands instead of the utensils, and the people are looking at me. And then I stood up like this in the middle of the thing. And you're supposed to not talk when you're eating, right? And I went, fuck Chuck, as loud as I could. And this petty officer comes running in, grabs me, like pulls me back in the kitchen, sits me down, and he was a black guy, and I'll never...
Are you not entertained?
Yeah, exactly. And he sits me down, and I'm like, all right, here we go. Like, it's a test. It's on. I'm showing how crazy I am. Like, I can really redline it. I can push it. And he's like, are you okay? And all I said to him, lines from that movie, The Jerk, started coming in my head. And I looked at him, and I said, Lord loves a working man, never trust white. And he starts laughing, and he's like, calling other guys over, like, this guy's fucking... One flew over the cuckoo's nest.
This guy's
right?
wasted.
Yeah. So they're like, all right, dude, you're going back. We're taking you back to your ship. We're going to talk to the guys, the chief and the petty officer that are in charge of your whole group, and let them know that you're off the res, bud. So we go back there, and he's not there. He's out with the group, and there's one guy who's standing watch,
Yeah.
right? And he's like, John, yeah, you've been really fucked up.
You're good, man.
You're good, bro. Just sit down, relax. And I go, you know what? It's not over. I need to get off this base. What's that called? Do you guys know what that's called?
AWOL?
Going AWOL.
And I'm like, Charlie Sheen.
I bet if I could somehow jump the fence and get out, maybe if I could make it to Chicago.
It's the final test.
Some escape and evasion, that would show it. So what do? I scurry out of there.
I'm going back to Cali.
That's right, baby. That's right. Yep. And so I run, and there's a little guard shack, and I remember trying to I'm obviously wearing the uniform. We all look the same. We have shaved heads, and I thought I could do an invisible guy slip out, and the guy's like, "What are you doing? He's like, "Come inside here." So he comes in.
No.
Yeah, no. So what they end up doing is they send me to a place that is on the other side of the base that's for people that aren't adapting, right? It's like guys that were chain smokers. They're like, fuck the Navy. And they'll send them there for the weekend and be like, the Navy's actually pretty cool, man. You want to stay with us, you can smoke a couple cigs. They had, I don't know if you know if this place exists. They had video games. They had Street Fighter. They had ping pong. And you're chilling.
Missed out.
No, it was the shit. So I'm over there, but what do I think when I get over there?
It's a test.
This test is not ended.
Dude, I wonder what those drugs were they gave you, man. Those things fucked you up,
And listen,
bro.
this is why my mom told me, never tell this story. Just lock it up inside, keep it down, and save it. Don't tell anybody. But
Save it for a podcast 30 years
Exactly.
later.
So, again, same thing. There's a little guy guarding the door, and I'm sitting there, and it's almost sunset. I pop up, I do a runner, and I get off base. Because now I'm on a section of base where all the recruits aren't. And I don't know what was going on, but before I know it, and I can run, dude. I can run. I am in a bad neighborhood, somewhere around Great Lakes.
Yeah, bro, North Chicago.
Yep, Martin Luther King. I remember looking, Martin Luther King Jr. is a street I'm on. and I have taken off my boots.
They always put those in the best neighborhood.
Yes, they do. They do. This is true. I have no shirt on. I have a shaved head. I just have my pants on. It's wintertime in Chicago, and I'm running. And I remember seeing some girls like walking towards me, like being like, this guy looks spooky. And I just kind of started singing and dancing.
Probably made it better.
Yeah, I started laughing. So at some point, reality sets in. I realize I'm fucked up. I'm basically naked. It's very cold. I'm starting to shiver. But again, I'm like, can I handle the cold? This has to be, this is a SEAL challenge.
Jesus
I have
Christ.
accepted the challenge. So I see a McDonald's. I don't know where I am, but I'm well off base. I may have ran 10 miles. And I revert back to like childhood. I go, what's a safe place that's warm with cheeseburgers and chicken McNuggets?
And a play place.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
You hide in the ball pit.
So I walk into the McDonald's and the people behind the counter are like, oh my God. And I'm like, do you guys have a payphone? They go, yeah, it's right there.
Nice nipples, by the way.
Yes, exactly. And it's warm. And I pick up the thing and I'm like, what do you do? I'm literally like a little boy now. What do you do when you're in trouble? What number do you dial, guys?
911.
You dial 911. So I dial 911 and I go, hi. I go, I'm having a bit of a situation. I would like to speak to a police officer. And I hang up.
Oh, my God.
And then I went into the bathroom stall. And remember, this is 2001, so Third Eye Blind is playing in the McDonald's. Yeah. And I'm sitting on the toilet, and I'm like, I think I'm going to Navy jail. I'm going to the brig. I think I really fucked up everything. And I worked really hard to get here. Like, I had a big send-off party. They're like, God bless you. It's like a month after 9/11, and everyone's like, John, we respect you. Good. You're like one of the guys that's going to go serve our country. So the cops show up. They sit me down in the booth, and they go, let me guess, you're from the Navy base. And I'm like, I am. They're like, yeah, we had some calls about you. We have your boots. You threw your boots at one point, and we're going to take you back to the base. So they yes, load me in the back of the car, take me back to the base, and it's like late now.
Did they cuff you?
They didn't cuff me.
Okay.
No, we were cool. And whoever's there, there's like, I don't know if it was a lieutenant, there's an officer, there's like 4 guys. They gave me a blanket, I have the blanket on, and they're asking me questions, and the only thing I would say was, I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. And I just remember all the faces of them like, we've never seen a recruit this fucking like, jeez. you are fucking insane.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. But I still am like, killing it. This is like, yeah, I'm going to be a legend.
I passed the test.
Straight to the CIA.
Yeah, great. Exactly, brother. So I'm sitting there, and they put me in a place with 2 guards, and I remember there was 2 other guys that were they were scary. They were recruits that were like bananas, and they slept between me, and we had like literal whatever MPs, and I just remember praying to God, dear God, please let me get my sanity back. I really am scared. So next morning, wake up. What do I do?
Jailbreak.
Yep. 100%.
What?
Yep. I called my sister. I've talked to my sister about this conversation since then. I'm like, do you remember it? She's like, we thought everything was good. She's like, you called me, and we're just like, hey, we're killing it. Everything's going great. Everything's going good. If you don't know what's going on so far, I am in steroid-induced psychosis, like full-blown, full fucking whack pack. So I go downstairs, same thing, do a runner. Guys chasing me, stop, keep running. I'm somewhere on base, and I'm like, it's time to hijack a car. I don't know how to hotwire a car, but like I'm thinking like I can. So
It'll come to me.
Yeah, it'll come to me. I find like a truck with one of those toolboxes in the back, and I get in it, and I open it, and there's like a hard hat. So I like put the hard hat on, and there's a jacket, and I'm like, this is sick, like disguise. And like as I'm looking back on this now, 25 years later, I'm like, I think they were just fucking watching me probably going,
Like, what's
this
this
is
guy gonna
fucking
do
hilarious.
next, dude?
His
Like,
name's John Wayne.
Yeah.
Let's see what he does
they're
next.
bored as fuck. It's the weekend. The base is empty at this part, and they're probably just like, let's just watch this animal in this contained space.
It's like a day at the zoo.
Yes. So I end up thinking I can get off base dressed as the construction worker. It doesn't work. MP steps out. He grabs me, and I do that. I do a little shimmy, and I run off base. But this time, they send one of their military police, and he's following me as I'm running along the highway. And he gets on the mic, and he's like, "Stop running." So, and he has his lights on, "Stop running." And finally something clicks, like probably from having a dad that was a cop, and and I stop, lays me out. Then they cuff me, Nick. Puts me in the
About
back.
time.
And he brings me back on base. They're trying to figure out what to do with me. And I go, guess what? Still being tested. So I do one of these. I'm like, I know some ninja shit. So I literally give him like a kick from the ground, on the ground, hits him, takes pepper spray, goes like this close. And then guess what comes? The ambulance. Woo-woo. And I'm like, oh. Then I'm in the back.
This is where I make my escape.
Then I get to go to a very special part of the base. It's
In a basement.
It's a hospital on a very special floor. And we get up there, and for the next 2 weeks, I spend New Year's 2002 and Christmas 2001 in the psych ward in Great Lakes, Illinois.
Nice.
And my parents fly back.
That place is rad.
And they're like, it's so fun. And what went on in there is a total separate story. I was still like, dude, there was some wild cats in there. There was a guy that would I'd be trying to sleep, and he would crawl over to my rack and like go through my shit. And I'd have to like swat him away at night and shit.
He just hisses at him.
Dude, it was awful. But I'm still thinking I'm good to go. And I remember there was a moment. They gotta draw blood on you. They're doing all this shit. There's all these doctors. And I looked at the person across from me, who was a Navy person, and I said, so I still get to go to Butts, right? And she's like,
Oh, yeah, fast track.
No, you are not going.
You're going straight to green
You
team.
are not going anywhere. And my dad comes back, and I said things to my father that I have never said, and I remember him crying. And that was a moment where I was like he thought my son is like fucking whatever. But I told him, I'm like, Dad, they gave me these pills. I took them, and then here is the result. So, long story short, what they end up doing is they give me something called an entry-level separation, which is like, thanks for coming out. Yeah. You are not welcome here. Have a great day. And
Maybe the Marines is more to your life.
correct. So, and my mom is like, don't tell anybody. Like, don't fucking ever talk about this, ever. And so what do? I come home and I tell all my friends.
I was too cool for the Navy.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, this story would make my heart feel better than pulling something else out of my ass, like failing to assimilate or whatever. Instead, you just OD'd yourself.
But dude, when they did
was
those fucking
devastating.
blood tests, I would think, did like anything come up that's like, hey,
100%.
like what?
Why is this kid of a 2000?
Why is he fucking losing his
level?
marbles?
Bro.
They're like, oh, he's got 7 times the legal limit of barbiturates in his fucking system.
And they really liked me. And this will be a theme we can talk about. Like, I continued to try to put myself into these manly jobs. And every single time, it would be like, this guy's a superstar. This guy's great. Everything's going good. And then it just, boo, explodes. And then it's like, what? And then everyone's like, this guy's, what the fuck happened? But crazy shit. So I'm still like, like the Navy got it wrong. I'm going to get it right. So I'm like filling out paperwork. I'm talking to the psychiatrist, like, you guys, this is your fault. Like, I deserve to be here. There were kids that didn't know how to fold their underwear that just graduated from boot camp right now. And I'm not a dummy. Like, I was the guy, right? So I end up to kind of...
I'm the RPOC.
Yes, I am the I had a cutlass. They gave me a sword. I walked with the sword. I was the guy. So my dad's just like, what are you going to do with your life? And I go, I don't know. He's like, have you thought about being a cop? I'm like, Dad, I don't think I can be a cop. I just got kicked out of the military because I'm apparently psychotic. And he's like, nah, you can still be a cop. I was like, really? And he's like, just go apply.
Did you ever hear Rodney
Just
King?
go apply. So literally 7 months after that, I pass everything, flying colors. The city of Anaheim's like, yes, you can carry a gun in our city and enforce the law. And so going through the police academy fulfilled that like young guy need. Mm-hmm. But I was a moron. Like, I didn't realize chicks only liked me then because I was the only one with a steady job. I never had more ladies. I bought, what do? Get a place on the beach in Newport Beach, rent a place, that's too much. Buy a crotch rocket. I think I'm Tom Cruise. Get a Toyota Tacoma. I'm like, we're at the bar. I'm making $52,000 a year. I'm like, I'm the guy. Sushi every night. And I excel. I excel in the police academy. I do great.
Especially during pepper spray phase.
This is
nothing.
He's like,
bro.
This ain't shit.
Get spit in my mouth. Put it in my mouth.
I've had this shit before.
Yeah. So I end up, it's pre-body cam, pre-tasers. And it's a beautiful thing. You get out there and you're like, holy shit, it's amazing. But I realized real quick, like I'll catch myself wearing the uniform and like catch my reflection and I'll just start laughing. Like, oh, what are we doing? Like I'll pull people over. You have a training officer in the beginning. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's watching it. Yeah. The FTO. And I'll like pull people over who like, I can smell the shit. And I'll just be like, have you been drinking tonight? And they'll be like, I had a couple. And I'll be like, you're good to go. Go ahead and take it. The FT's like, this guy's retarded.
This guy's cool.
This guy's sweet. So short order, I end up, again, not talking to anybody. Like being a cop was actually pretty dope. Like you're making good money. We were on 312s. We work 3 days a week. I have 4 days off a week. Like, again, you're 23 years old and like never had more ladies in my life, you know? And I didn't talk to anybody. And I just thought, I can't see myself doing this for 30 years, you know, or 20 years or 5 more years. So yeah. I went in full on like, you know, like it was a movie, like in Top Gun again, when the guy throws his wings. I walked in, I said, this isn't for me. And they're like, we're going to need your Glock. Give us the Glock.
Know that.
You can keep the badge. Yeah. Give me that fucking
And
weapon.
my dad was like, what the fuck, dude? What do you just quit? And I go, dude, I can't do this. Like,
so
no.
what was it about it? Was it like seeing like the older guys that had been that and you're like, hey, I don't want that life?
100%, dude. There was one guy, there was an older guy, Krusty. And every
that was
time,
his name? Probably.
Dude, it probably was. Every time I would see him, he would go, Freeman, what does law enforcement do to you? And my response was, sucks the life out of you, sir. And he'd go, that's right. And they all had like, we're on their 3rd or 4th wives.
Sounds like a jolly person to be around.
Yeah. And I had seen my dad, like how dudes would stab each other in the back to promote and all this shit. And he got sued.
Sounds like the military.
Yeah, it was brutal. And I was just like, but the truth, let's tell you, the truth is immaturity. I was an extremely not emotionally, mentally ready for any of this at the time. I was a dork. But anyways, that is my Navy story. And I have kept this inside because I think I was ashamed for a long time because I never wanted anything more. Anything. Like, and I never worked harder to get anything. And before it even got off going anywhere, it was done. You're the tip of the spear.
Yeah.
I walked right by the spear. I was not even. I was a little crust that. No, it was never.
Well, Jason Gardner is a very motivating individual.
He is. He is.
His brother tattoos at San Clemente Tattoo. His brother did a bunch of work on me.
So Jason was an ocean lifeguard in San Clemente where I was, and he was like, I had heard about him, and
his
then
dad's in the Marine Corps.
Yep.
And Jason's actually said a couple times he wanted to come on the show, or
that'd be awesome,
come on the show, and
he'd be good.
But dude, it was like one of those crazy stories when you see like the Discovery Channel documentary.
Documentaries.
It wasn't the 234 one. It was something else where
It was the best.
it was so fucking
Silent
funny, dude. They had-
Auction,
yeah,
it's
because he
called.
was at Team 5 when I got there, and he was like one of the saltier guys. And yeah, it was one of those fucking things where they're interviewing guys. And I just remember Danny Carroll was another team guy that was at 5 when I was there. And I remember they're interviewing him, and they're like, "What makes you guys so good?" And Danny's like, "It's not that we're good. It's just that everyone else sucks."
So fucking true, dude.
Dude, he goes,
He
and
said all the
And
time.
I'm
Jason.
like, "Oh my god, this guy's nailed it."
That's true.
Yeah.
And Jason, in that same thing, again, I just thought he was like my superstar. I could give a shit about mean celebrities. Like, I love like people that do the thing. In that, he was like one of the only guys in the 90s who had combat, and it was in
Yeah.
Somalia, and he had used a 50 caliber
Yep.
rifle. And in the thing, he's like, I saw him. He had an RPG, and they're like, "What did you do?" He goes, "I dumped him." And I was just like, "Oh yeah."
Well, there's another
look,
funny
dude,
story
I'm
about
still-
that because
yeah.
I remember being in my first platoon, and I remember it was like him, Fap Nguyen, and there's somebody, I think Monty Tree Size.
Double tap fap. Yeah.
Well, dude, there was, and maybe we
Monty
need to
Tree
blur. We
Size.
should probably blur out those names, but those dudes were getting awards with V's from Somalia, and I was just like, whole, combat action ribbons and the fucking, comms with V's and fucking shit like that. And I was like, holy fuck, man! I was like, that's fucking amazing, But that documentary where Jason's talking about it, he's like, I see a guy, he's got an RPG. He's like, only a handful of guys
Yeah,
could have
yeah.
made that shot. Only a handful of guys in the world could have made that shot. He goes, I wasn't one of them. I hit the guy next to him. Because apparently the dude's standing there with RPG, and the guy runs out next to him. And he hits the dude next to him, and all he sees is entrails for
just getting evaporated.
just turn him into a fucking pink mist. The dude drops the RPG and takes off running or some shit.
What, that 50?
Yeah.
God, I'd love to see a skinny get hit with a
Dude, you
50.
have to see
Hits
this.
the motherfucker center mass,
who's-
and the dude just fucking.
Who's the guy that's like in charge of all the weapons and that he's the oddest duck ever?
No.
He's like, hold the MP5.
Oh.
And I'm like, what? He's like,
God
a
damn it.
warrior prays for peace. No warrior wants to go to war. But when it's time, it's time. And he's like, he's so bizarre. And he's like kind of bald. You know this dude?
Not kind of.
That
He's
guy's
bald as
that guy's
fuck.
wild.
Dude, he was the platoon chief in our sister platoon. He was at Alpha Platoon at 5. I'm trying to remember the dude's name.
He's next level.
God damn it.
Is he alive?
Yeah, but maybe.
Sort of alive.
Yeah. God, what is his name? He's a legend. He used to be at the fucking boot camp in San Diego in charge of the range there. God, what is his fucking name? His name's on the tip of my tongue. I'll figure it out.
I don't
I'll
remember
text
it.
somebody.
Yeah,
He's a character.
But dude, he was
For sure.
I got some funny stories about that fucking cat too, about like some shit we probably don't need to air. But
If it doesn't make our cast, then it's good.
yeah.
Maybe we'll put him on Patreon or something.
God, I can't remember the dude's name though. He was, just dude, bald as fuck, and dude, his back, like he took his shirt off, and it looked like he was wearing a sweater. He was so fucking
no way.
hairy. He was just like, oh my god, and he made me like I sweat like a fucking hostage constantly. I could sit in the freezer and eat ice cream and still sweat. This dude sweated more than me. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Boots
like,
are always wet.
just always a sweaty Betty, dude. You're just like, oh my god, like,
Smells like
but
hot
dude,
dogs.
he could draw really good. I remember just sitting in some of these like GMTs at SEAL Team 5, and he's in there just like drawing shit, like what the fuck is it? Like random ass shit with dicks on it, and maybe that's where I got all my fucking cock with wings stuff. But
Probably is.
I digress.
Was he at 5?
Yeah, he was a Team 5 guy. Fuck, man, what is his name?
I want to say
I gotta get his name.
I want
now.
to say this though. Anybody that's listening, like I would have, to young people that listen to this podcast, I would have been all over this podcast. There was very little information. There were a few books out. I mean, if you were thinking about trying to get into something, and looking back, I would just say this: go for it, man. You do
Yeah.
it, dude. Like I will say this: everything I've wanted to attempt, I have attempted. And let the cards fall where they may. And it shapes you. You know what I mean? But you gotta give it a shot. Like, just go for it, man, and listen to what people say. Like that whole "don't volunteer for anything," that's real.
Yeah.
Like, shut your fucking face.
Well, that's what Navy stands for.
Yeah.
NAVY. Never again volunteer yourself. They used to tell you that shit. Hey,
let your big personality show a few years down the road. Keep it fucking like, you know what I mean? Lock that up because,
I think a lot of people just overthink things.
100%.
You know, because if you're a smart person, that's kind of what you do. You're like, what about this? What about that? And then you're thinking about the odds, and then you just kind of talk yourself out of it. Or you think, well, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. Entrepreneurship's a lot like that too. You see other people and think, oh, they've got it all figured out. And dude, nobody has it figured out.
It's true.
Like, I'm 48 now, and I've been an entrepreneur for 18 years. I know a lot of people who are building like, you know, 100 million and billion-dollar companies. They don't have it figured out either.
Yeah.
Like they're doing well and they know a certain amount of shit, but there's still a lot of stuff that they just don't fucking know, and they just do it. They're just not afraid of doing it. And I think there's a lot of value in just like kind of turning your brain off a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
And just saying fucking do it. Like I've honestly made some of my best business decisions, maybe not personal life decisions, but some of my best business decisions just a little bit drunk.
Oh yeah,
because I don't overthink it. And like, this sounds like
creativity
a good idea.
when it comes to that's like, you're talking, that's some of the greatest things. But then it's, if you have an addictive personality, it's like, can you find balance? Something I've heard you guys talk about though. I'm telling you too, if you're a young guy and you're discouraged or you're feeling lost, hold on, stay in the pocket, try to take a little better care of yourself, make better decisions. Life for me started getting insanely awesome at 40.
Me too.
The last 6 years has been the wildest ride. Like, everything I ever imagined that I dreamt about that would happen, happened. And the weirdest part about it is like how bad I wanted to be a part of the military. It all came organically. Years later, I get to be a part of this incredible organization called the C4 Foundation, host events with meet all these really awesome guys. And guess what I had to do? Be myself.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Be a good hang. Like, you aren't that guy. And that's fucking okay, dude. That's just fine.
Yeah.
You serve a role that is great. Here's your strengths. That's it, man. And it's crazy how God worked that all out. Like, I remember hosting one of the events on a big C4 weekend to celebrate Charlie, and I got to stay in the penthouse that's right up against where you're looking at the Buds compound, and I'm standing up there in this insane, and I'm looking down at the guys rolling in the sand, and I started crying because I was like, it's so weird how God works. Like, I wanted nothing more than to invite every person that told me I couldn't do it to my graduation at this thing. And at 22 years old, I thought that would be the pinnacle of success. And then I'm like, oh, this is weird. I'm somehow a part of this, and I get to be funny and be who I am. And like, you just had to let
house in Coronado.
Yeah, you had to let go and like let God take the wheel. You know what I mean? And like, it's
this weird,
dude.
It's this weird delicate mix of like having goals, but continuing down the path and doing all you can, but letting God work, or the universe work in whatever way it has to. But man, I say it all the time. My 40s has been my favorite decade, like by far.
Same.
I mean, aside from the heart attack, but everything else is pretty.
God's wild, dude.
So after the police, I guess, education and life lessons, now it kind of seems like that was the main route. Where the fuck did you go after this? And like, what was kind of the thought process leading into, post?
Yeah. So at the time, I mean, from 6th grade on, I was like into acting, into Saturday Night Live, all that shit. And funny enough, like, my dad, like, would not host, he would be security for like these award shows in LA.
Yep.
And one day he's driving and he's got this lady named Janet Leigh in the back, and her agent. Janet Leigh is Jamie Lee Curtis's mom. She's the lady in the shower in Psycho, right? And he starts talking about, hey, my kid, he's an actor, blah, blah, blah. So I ended up getting an agent in LA because of my dad, like went up there, interviewed. But I went to 6 auditions and was like, again, you're young. I was like, how did I not get a part?
Yeah.
And so I quit. So I would always,
which is hard enough just to get a fucking agent.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very hard to get an
being
agent.
young and dumb. I would always get awesome opportunities, really push myself. And then the second there was resistance, I would be a bitch and I would just go, I guess I need to find another path. So that is really what I should have been doing all along, was following that. But back then, we don't have Instagram. We don't have Facebook.
Right.
We don't have YouTube. Like, you have to be chosen. You have to be so freaky talented and stand out. And I dabble in a little improv. I dabble in some stand-up. After the cop thing, I go completely opposite. I start smoking pot for the first time, and I'm just like a dirtbag for 2 years, hanging out with friends, doing improv, doing stand-up. And then I get into some trouble.
How old are you at this point?
Between 24 and 26. Just going nowhere, dude. Rudderless. Like, you know what I mean? Because I thought 22 to 26, I'm going to be in the Navy. So, and I loved the structure because it's so hard for me to structure my day. And it was all planned for you. And I'm like, this is so good for me. And then it was gone. But at 26 years old, man, I get into some trouble, and it's another moment of just being lost in my 20s. And my dad's like, what are you going to do? And so, I'll be a fireman. Seems
There
cool,
you go.
dude. 10 days. So, yeah, I become a paramedic. I'm a paramedic for the next 10 years. I was a reserve firefighter. I get hired a couple times as a firefighter. In my mid-30s, same shit happens as like the Navy. Killing it. You're the guy. Like, you're doing great. Because I can talk to people, make people laugh. And then eventually, I honestly think, like, when it gets to a certain stress situation and the overthinking, I like fucking become a shit show. And so I don't pass the academies. And so finally, at 37, I now have 2 small children. My wife's like, you got to do something. And I'm depressed.
2 chicks at the same time.
That's right, brother. I end up as a night janitor at an elementary school in Carlsbad. And I start listening to podcasts.
There you go.
And I'm like, mop, 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 all night long, cleaning this giant school. And I'm like, how has this gone wrong? You could have done anything, but you keep fucking everything up. And I'm listening to guys that are like, you know, life's hard. You got to work hard at things, but you can do anything. And I start thinking, I'm like, can you? And I start going, what are you best at? What are your strengths? What do you love? Making people laugh, being in front of a camera. And so during that time, for a year, I'm like, what's the quickest way I can get in front of people's faces? Everybody's like this.
Yep.
I'm seeing everybody everywhere. And I never fucked with that stuff because you can't pass backgrounds for these jobs if you're sculling beers on Instagram and being a... But at this point, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So on my lowest point, I'm like, what's this Instagram thing? And I'm posting the creepiest but funniest, weirdest shit as a night janitor.
Oh my God,
The night janitor, and like I pretend the school is haunted. I have my chain with all my keys. I'm going through teachers' drawers, and I start to build this following. And everyone's like, "This is sick." And like, "Will you be on my podcast?" And like and my mom's calling me. She's like, "Are you okay?
What the fuck's wrong with you?"
Yeah, you probably shouldn't say that. And I grew up real religious too, right? So there was always this like don't
Like Catholic?
No,
Or like Baptist?
Oh, I'm talking good stuff like speaking in tongues.
Oh, Jesus.
Protestant. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So there's that inner like to this day, I don't swear in front of my parents, right? But when I'm away
Maybe you
from mom
should
and dad.
start.
Yeah, exactly. Hope they don't. Mom, please don't listen to the pod. And so at that point I didn't care, and I was just like, I'm going to let it fly. And then there was a page called Kook of the Day, which had over 1 million followers, which is a surf page that makes fun of people that are kooks.
Yeah.
And I became the face of it, eventually became an owner of it. And like
That's awesome.
every celebrity, every rich dude, this and that, followed this page. And the guy who created it always wanted to be anonymous. But he's like, you're nuts. You'll be the face of it. And I would just do characters and shit. And then that led to something that I didn't even know existed. I always thought you had to get a government job because my whole family's firefighters and cops, right? And people are like, let's have a business meeting. And I'm like, what's a business meeting? You sit down and I'm like, you'll give me money and you paid for dinner? So I start and I just said yes to everything. Like you said to the guy with the van company on your podcast. In the beginning, you say yes to everything.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm the yes man. So this leads to going up to LA, meeting with and I'm such a fan. Like the guy who wrote Traffic, he won an Academy Award. He surfs.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, I want to make a show with you. And I'm like, oh my God, this is how it happens.
Yeah.
He's like, but come hang out with me in Malibu and like, let's go to the club. And I'm like, there. I'm like, I'm just being myself. This is insane. So that led to eventually, and I'm still on the ambulance at this point. I left the janitor job, went back to being a paramedic. This is all blowing up. I'm having the time of my life. And eventually I'm making more money literally just being myself. And I beg my wife, I'm like, and this is right when COVID pops off. I'm like, please God, like, can I quit this job? Can I quit this job? So maybe like 6 months into COVID, she's like, yeah. And I go, what do we do? And then like, you start hanging out with rich guys who are like, you start an LLC and here's what you do. You can write golf off. You can write surfing. I'm like, what?
It's so true.
This is what you people do? This isn't, how come no one told me this shit? And so life begins right at 40. And and then these companies I start working for and I get to do TV commercials. And that's where I'm at, dude. That's what I've been doing. And it's literally been the most ridiculous thing. And you're just on the train trying to stay on.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that's wild.
It's crazy.
Dude, I fucking love that. Because I was fully aware of Kook of the Days from as soon as it started.
Yeah.
And as soon as it launched. And then I think you have a hand in Bug Assault, right?
Yeah, so Bug Assault is, again, it's all, people love surfing, dude. Like, even people that don't surf are fascinated with it. And this guy created this gun that shoots flies with salt, which now makes $30 million a year.
Dude, they give those away at Rogan's Club.
So working with them, I told them, I was up at the headquarters, and I'm like, you guys, you know Joe Rogan's the male Oprah in the sense that if he has a product on, you're going to sell. And so it was like, let's get in the club. Brian Simpson, who's an incredible comic, he's great. He starts getting those and giving them away at the club. Yeah. And he goes on Rogan, and the greatest commercial you could have in the universe, he starts talking about it on the show. They pull up the commercial, which is me. So I tell everybody I was on Rogan. I'm like, yeah, I was on Joe Rogan. Look. And they're like, you weren't physically in the room. I'm like, doesn't matter. I was on it. And the next day, biggest sales they've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's the most useful tool that I have because, you guys donated a bunch to the C4 Foundation. And so we ended up getting a bunch of them. And I have like 3 in every fucking room in my house, especially during fly season in the summertime. And it's so rewarding.
Oh, they're fucking awesome.
And when you first introduce somebody to one...
Got my first kill today.
You're like a little kid again.
My wife and I actually have a body count like on our whiteboard in the kitchen of how many flies we kill.
And because of that, again, like, this is the thing. That is the funniest... God, I'm so dense. Like, I realize shit. So everything is about relationships.
Yeah.
So they're big supporters of the C4 Foundation. So they dump a bunch of Bug Assaults up there at the ranch for all the kids of the Navy SEALs. And then Pit Viper Sunglasses was another company. And we've I think I can say it doesn't matter. We've sent Bug Assaults and Pit Vipers to like the tip of the spear. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just fucking have fun with these when you're overseas. Yeah. And they have our boys who are doing the craziest work that you could imagine. They have the shredder, which is the Bug Assault that has the CO2 cartridge in it for shooting scorpions and blowing up scorpions. Oh, wow. It packs a punch. So it's just been cool to be able to through relationships.
You didn't give him the one with the dildo on it?
That's cutting edge. That's brand new. That's new tech. We'll get a picture of that later. But yeah, dude, and I was hung up on this shit, which I heard one of your guests say, like, age never factored into like any of my age really factored. I was like, when I was 37 working as a janitor, I'm like, I'm too old. Like, I can't do anything.
I'm too young for this.
Dude, 40 ain't shit. It's really not. Yeah. Like, you can start something, but it's a marathon, not a sprint. And things will happen when they happen, man. So true. You just, like, if you have something inside of you that you wake up in the morning, this thing's always in the back of your head, I should do this. You go to sleep. And then, like, years go by and you're still thinking about, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do it. Because that's where the adventure lies. And they always say all the best things are on the other side of fear. It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can take steps to it too. A lot of people think that you have to do the sexy thing, like burn the boats, go all in. I think that's a great tagline, but a terrible tactic. Like I never recommend that to anybody. I think the best way to do it is to keep your day job, keep all your bills paid, especially when you're an adult and you have like real responsibilities.
Especially living in fucking California.
Yeah.
One foot in the safety zone.
Yeah, for sure. But you can take steps on the side to build things, build them slowly. And I love that idea of like bootstrapping and building things like that and keeping the safety net for as long as possible, because I think it's just a smart move. It's not the sexy thing to say, but I think it's way more prudent than the other one.
100%. And a huge part of that is your partner in life.
Yeah.
And like my wife, literally, it was one conversation. She's like, you talk so much shit about how you think you're funny and you're good on camera and you can do all this stuff. Prove it. I'm tired of hearing you talk about it. Like, I want to do this. I'm like recording myself. Shit, I'm never going to show anybody, like in the bathroom, and she's hearing me and she's like, dude, just stop. But when she gave me permission, I was like, you're giving me, she's like, just follow your dreams, dummy. Like, and I,
You're
and
all
that
like,
is, yeah.
baby, say hi. Like, oh, you motherfucker.
It's all I needed, dude. Like, and that's having like my wife encouraging me, like went so far.
Yeah.
Instead of like, listen, asshole, you're going to work this job that you hate because I need X, Y, and Z. And like her going, yeah, take a risk, dude.
Yeah, man. I think it's so important to have somebody. I got to watch what I say because my wife's sitting right over there. But
We got Jamie.
But yeah, we've talked about this though, man. I think like who you marry is the most important business decision you'll ever make. If you have somebody, I'm so glad that none of my previous relationships worked out, not just because my wife's sitting over there, but for real. Because I wouldn't be able to do any of the things I wanted to do if I had been in those relationships. Because one was just kind of like a very nice person, but kind of a dud, like wouldn't have been any help at all, which is honestly probably better than the other person I was with for a long time, who was an anchor, who just shit on everything I tried to do, didn't appreciate anything, and was just the opposite of a supporter. And I was like, fuck, man, I'm so glad this didn't work out. And not that I planned this, obviously, but meeting Disney was a big catalyst for me to have this person who was open to me showing her things, and then she improved on the things that I would show her, and then we just integrate our lives together into the businesses together. And now it's like she's a huge fucking asset. I wouldn't be able to do any of the stuff I do without her in it.
Yeah.
It's been crazy.
Yeah, my ex-wife was the same way. She told me, I mean, for years, it was 10 years of just constantly struggling, trying to like tread water. I mean, I was active duty because also it's something I failed to understand is when we got married, I inherited $180,000 in student loan debt, from a college.
Did you guys get married when you were already in, or did you know her before you went in the Army?
I knew her since the 4th grade, but we got married in 2009 when I was on my halfway between I was on my second tour on R&R. But like the prime example is Oakley. I got introduced to Oakley and started kind of modeling for him or being in front of the camera. And I was constantly given shit for it. And it's like, what, you're fucking working for sunglasses and blah, 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 and this and that. And then,
shut up, bitch!
well, I think I said that a few times.
Don't make me a chicken papa!
She didn't even cook either. And then, you fast forward 5 years, I'm divorced, and Oakley gave me a fat signing bonus and brought me on full time, and I'm working for Oakley. And then I was just, Nikki, my wife now, allows me to kind of like chase all these things. Yeah. And most all of them have come to fruition. And I would be fucking nowhere if it wasn't for that kind of freedom, because I was always just being told, and I thought that I didn't have the sensibilities to properly analyze whether this was a good, I guess, rabbit hole to go down, or whether I was a fucking idiot. She told me I was an idiot, so I only knew the military, so
constantly
maybe
second guess yourself.
Always,
yeah.
And so I would just turn down a lot of things, and like now it's fucking sky's the limit. Whether it be acting in documentaries, or whether it be filming documentaries, or chasing all these dreams, it's like fuck, that is everything. And when you're getting the green light, It's like, you should go do that.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so like life can be such an adventure and so cool. And you just, it's all learning along the way. And I've screwed up huge things. I've failed things. I've had things like, just fumble. But you go, all right, what are we going to do next time? Yeah. Learn from this mistake. Yeah. It's great.
Good having somebody support you like that, man. Because
huge.
I mean, you could obviously you have somebody that's constantly fucking shitting all over everything you do, but it takes a lot for somebody to be supportive, especially if they see potential. I mean, like when I first retired, it's fucking crazy. Like I first retired. I mean, even though I had like a military retirement and shit, dude, I was like, I literally retired because I'm like, dude, my kids are getting older. They haven't really had, I mean, dude, like 9 deployments, like constantly in Iraq. And, you know, it's like, well, fuck, man. It's like, I want to have a relationship with my children. Yeah. At the same time, I want them to have a relationship with me. And then, you know, I get out and I'm like teaching, you know, EOD guys how to shoot. And then this Coast Guard gig pops up and I'm literally doing that. And Gabby would see me come home from the range and have like just no job satisfaction whatsoever. Yeah. You know, it's like, yeah, it was an okay job and I was making decent money, but it's like when you're not passionate about the shit you're doing, and I was still doing stuff with Harry, you know, in the film industry, and that was kind of where
Harry Humphreys?
Yeah.
Legend.
Yeah. So, you know, doing stuff like that, I would come home and I'm like telling the wife, telling the kids about, I'm like, oh, and then we're doing this, and then, dude, we had this fucking car blow up, and we had this, and then, you know, and then there came that crossroads where we were literally getting ready to go to Malta to film 13 hours. And that was the time where I was like, well, fuck, I'm going to have to give up this fucking job. Yeah. That's $90K a year, you know, on top of whatever my retirement was, which is fucking great money. Mm. But then she's like, well, you know, or you could go to Malta for 4 months, make this fucking movie, and then see what happens after that. And that's basically what I did. It was like, hey, you know, make the fucking leap. And then, you know, it's worked out since then.
Well, that's because of your work ethic.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, busting your ass, and like, you know, you're obviously a pleasure to fucking be around and listen to. And it's like, so that goes a long ways, especially in Hollywood, where you know, you have a lot of maniacal individuals and you know, sociopaths, and then now you get more work, and you've been killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody has that crux point where you're like, fuck, if I go that fork in the road where like I can continue to have this kind of, you know, comfortable existence without a lot of risk, but it's comfortable and reliable, or I can choose the other path and fucking chase my dreams with no real, less of a safety net, no real, you know, promises of anything. But if it works out, like, fuck, man, it's a whole different life.
And also, you don't need permission. I always thought I needed like permission from somebody to do anything. You can just do shit. Yeah. You can just create stuff. That's how it happens. You throw it against the wall. It's what everything is. You see how the world responds, and there's never been a better time in human history to like, you can do it yourself. Mm-hmm. You really can. And you know what? The audience, whoever that is, they'll give you feedback. Oh, they love to tell you what they like and what they don't like. Yeah, and you can make adjustments based off that. You can literally do anything. It literally, at the end of the day, it is work. And I'll say this, dude, this is funny. So right now is kind of a weird spot. So it's been a crazy ride the last few years. And like, it's insane when you're a, quote, influencer, whatever that word is, and people are inviting you to parties, you're getting free shit and stuff. And now I'm on kind of like a downward spiral. Like, check this out. Last week, do you guys know what gooning is?
Gooning?
No. This is the best thing ever. Okay. If you're addicted to porn and you beat off all day, it's called gooning. Isn't this the best word? You're a gooner. Okay. So I get contacted by this company that creates this program that they sell to get people unaddicted to porn. It's an anti-gooning company.
The methadone of pussy.
And they're like, we want to pay you. And first off, I'm like, why are they reaching out to me? Do I look like King Goon? That's like, yeah, all right, you got me. You're right. So
Holy shit.
So we're in a little bit of a slump right now, but it's still, I'm like, yes, I will take your money and I will create anti-gooning content. So there's always stuff that's going on, like, but you got to work. Like, I was getting these contracts with companies for like a year, 2 years, and you need to always keep building on it. What I did for the most part was golfed and surfed. And like my wife would be like, "What are you doing? This isn't, you gotta like,
It's work, honey.
yeah,
It's
you
work.
never study. That's what
You gotta
it's a
create
write-off.
content.
It's a write-off. We're creating content.
Go to my LLC.
It's the dumbest shit in the world. Like you're golfing with some guy and he's like a doctor or something. He's like, so what is it that you do? And you take out your phone. You're like, you see this? I just go like this, like once a day. And then I call it a write-off.
I'm gooning.
I'm gooning. Mostly gooning and surfing. Yeah.
So that makes me fucking wonder why the Goonies were called the Goonies.
Look, they were at that age. That's when you discover gooning, dude.
Rocky
That's when
Road's
you're-
over here just going at it.
Oh, fuck. Truffle Shovel. And then you had, what's his name? Who's the kid who...
Chunk? Sloth?
Data?
No, not that one. The kid who said he was molested by like Michael Jackson.
Oh,
and
Mouth.
Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a rock star now.
I love his music. I celebrate his whole catalog. Talented. What
Hey
a
man,
talent.
I will say, as a child actor, he's I wouldn't say he's continued to rise, but he's continued to at least plateau.
Yes, he's alive.
So,
He's
I think
alive.
I saw-
He is alive.
He is
alive
alive.
and still around.
I think I saw him at like Coachella or something, and he was playing, and Fred Durst called bullshit and went up and like turned off like whatever could have been like, you know, the
His
actual
amp.
music playing. Yeah. And he still just went there and started shredding, and then like started getting down, and like Durst was looking at him to make sure like he was actually playing the guitar.
Oh, it's totally fake.
And well, no, apparently he nailed it.
What?
I thought
The video I saw, like he was
it was a
totally
bullshit.
fake playing.
All right, we gotta
Yeah.
look this up. Can we take
Yeah.
a break?
Yeah, good time for a break. Are we back in? I feel like it's definitely not official till we get the clap. There we
All
go.
right, we are
Clap in
back. First and foremost, I wanted to say thanks to Coronado Brewing Company. I showed up there the other day, and Ron, the founder of Coronado Brewing Company, ended up hooking us up with a bunch of swag for the studio. Got a bunch of hats and shirts and stuff. I've said it before, I'll say it again. So they partnered with the C4 Foundation, did their own collaboration beer, which I was happy to work on this project with them, with the Shaka. And actually, something that a lot of people don't know is Rodney Mullen, probably the god of skateboarding, the creator of the ollie, the creator of the kickflip, the guy that pretty much revolutionized skateboarding, is a huge supporter of the foundation, and they are taking the Bone Shaka logo and emblem that the C4 Foundation developed and coming out with a very kind of specific clothing line that Rodney is going to help kind of run and pay homage to
For C4?
Charlie Keating the Fourth.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So thanks, Coronado Brewing, for all of the excessive beer and the swag.
Yeah, love it. Fuck yeah.
Cowabunga.
It's not our official sponsor, but there's some free stuff. We're,
Yeah, anytime you guys want to send us free shit, we're more than willing to take it.
yeah, we're getting a little update for you guys too. We're getting a second wall. We're building a wall on wheels that's going to go behind the
Oh, nice.
The couch
couch
there,
here. Yeah, because this
smart.
shooting this way looks pretty killer, but shooting this way looks ghetto as fuck. So we're gonna redo that. So that opens up a
That's
whole
why I
new-
always sit over here. I need all the production value I can get.
Guy looks badass over there.
So we're gonna put some energy into the set this maybe this week, I think. So it should look a little.
Who sent us that fucking Navy SEALs poster?
Where's it?
Do we
Was
have
it Charlie?
Hey, babe,
Charlie
can you
Sheen
hand
did?
me that?
Is this personal? Did he autograph
No,
it?
somebody in Tennessee. I'd noticed it was
Yeah,
College
this is actually
Grove.
pretty
I
funny.
was like, oh shit, because
hand
one of
me
my
that.
buddies
Can you
just
hand me
moved
the,
out
the
there.
posters there too.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm always kind of surprised every time I come in here. I'm
Babe.
somehow usually the first one here, probably because Army's on time. You guys got to fin in. But all this stuff, like we got a coin and
Yeah, it's from Jason Campbell in it was from Tennessee. So he sent us a fucking official Navy SEAL
there's a bunch of
poster
them.
with Charlie Sheen. Yeah, dude.
How
So
many-
this
are
is
they all the
definitely got to
same?
go up. I don't know. I haven't unveiled them.
Oh,
yet.
yeah. That's
Rest in
fucking cool,
peace
though.
to
So it
the
looks like
actor
there's-
that played
there's three.
God.
Dude, we need
Yeah.
to get. Oh, dude, Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton.
right,
Rest
yeah.
in peace.
So I flew him a flag overseas because he was in
Bill Paxton?
Yeah.
No shit.
So he was in a TV show called Big Love
That's
with
a
my
great
sons.
show.
My
That's a
sons
great
played Lester Hendrickson
Oh, wow.
on,
No
on
way.
this Mormon show.
Yeah.
And
I love that show.
he could never remember my fucking name. But dude, we'd go to rap parties and I'd show up and he'd be at the bar and he'd just go, "Seal! Seal!" I'm like, and dude, he'd wave me over and he's like, hand me tequila shots. And he used to tell this fucking story of when they were making Navy SEALs, the movie, how he met all these East Coast team guys and he directed the golf course scene.
Oh,
great
it's
scene.
the fucking best.
But it was supposed to be, in the script, it was supposed to be a volleyball scene. Because the fucking West Coast teams and shit. And, but they had just made Top Gun. And he goes, dude, we couldn't do
couldn't do it.
volleyball
Yeah.
again. So they made it this golf's
golf's for East Coast
deal. So where
anyway.
they're fucking hitting the balls and shit. But he said he directed that scene. He said it was pretty fucking cool. And, he, just epic hanging around team guys. But,
It's pretty accurate. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of how
God
most of it
here.
goes. Yeah. So thanks for the posters.
I
Jason
got
Campbell.
nothing
That's
on
pretty dope.
Starlight. Switching to thermal. Oh, we got a coin too from Zach Pala.
Oh yeah.
From Guzzo Coin.
Oh, where'd the coin go?
I think it's over here. We put it over here. Yeah, there it is, right there. Yeah. So Guzzo was a teammate of ours or mine at 5, and fucking
That's cool.
good dude. His dad's a team guy.
I don't think I ever saw that one.
Yeah. So Guzzo was, I think he was in one troop.
Yeah.
Went down range.
Don't stop believing.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember where he was at in Iraq, but good dude.
Yeah, he used to be fun to party with. We got some great pictures
Yeah,
of him.
dude. Last time I hung out
Yeah,
with him,
yeah.
it was me, Matza Delafour, Guzzo, and fucking of all people, fucking that dude Don Zub,
Oh yeah.
and Big Brian Ruddick. You remember Ruddick?
Big Brian,
Yeah.
not the team guy. The guy was at your
Yeah.
Yeah, big black dude. He's
Yeah.
great.
Great
That's
fucking
really
dude.
cool.
And so we were at McGregor's, of all fucking places.
Big surprise.
Yeah, and getting after it there, and that was the last time I saw fucking Guzzo, man. Fucking good dude. But yeah, thanks for sending us shit, guys.
Yeah.
always appreciate
And we've
it.
gotten other stuff too. I can't keep track of it all.
Yeah, people stop by and bring
yeah.
us stuff. I mean, I should probably put a different
Yeah,
address on here.
we
just
should
so-
probably write this shit down. And
we got to get. There's a lot of things we got to get better at, but we're working on it. For monkeys fucking a football,
yeah,
it's not too bad.
Unfortunately we're very bad at everything we do.
Well, that's why we got Disney helping out with this stuff now. She's going to come on the back end and try to help us like cross all the T's and dot all the I's.
Yeah, we need women in our lives, especially for this cast. Well, I don't know. Maybe not. I renege on that.
If she can fucking stand it.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. You look like you got something to say over there, hon.
No.
No, nothing.
She's like, I'll wait till we get home, and I'm gonna give you both fucking barrels.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, when we were off air, we took a little break. Nick wanted me to share a story, which I don't really think I should share because there's a lady in the room. But we have been told that she's awesome. She's looking around.
Earmuffs.
She's like, I don't see a lady. Yeah.
Earmuffs, babe, earmuffs.
I think this kind of blew your mind. We were on a camping trip, and when you're sitting around a fire, stuff comes out, and you found this fascinating. So
Yeah, and it was one of my favorite. Can I tell everybody why we laughed so hard?
I'll just tell the story, and
Okay.
then we'll. I mean, we all grow up different when it comes to the opposite sex, and ladies are a mystery. You know what I mean? They're hard to figure out.
You did grow up Protestant, right? So
I
that probably
did.
had
So there was
to
a
do-
lot of heavy petting, a lot of denim heat, a lot of dry humping, a lot of
soaking,
that.
yeah.
It was terrible. You're supposed to wait till marriage, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's like hammered into you. but everything else is saying,
Wait to do what?
my body's saying, let's go, but my heart is saying no. So
Take it easy, or
I'm sorry. It's a little creepier when the guy's 46 who's telling this story. But so we're sitting around and we're talking about, ladies from the past. That's I hate to say this, but it's the truth. These ladies that come into our lives, whether it's for one evening or for many years, they haunt us the rest of our lives. It's like a Rolodex. They pop up.
Sinner.
So there's something I didn't realize until I was around 23 years old, and it involves the oral sex when you're trying to please a lady. From the first time I did it till there was a woman, and when I say woman, I mean a whoa man, who finally just said, whoa, and stopped me. I thought that you were supposed to take your tongue and use it like a dick and just put it in and go like this with your head.
Like a woodpecker.
And I did this for years, and nobody said anything. And I would be down there for an hour going,
Chicken necking you.
like this. And finally, some woman goes, what the fuck are you doing?
See, communication.
What is wrong? Are you retarded? Like, you are so... And I was like, oh. And so I told that. These guys were dying, and they're like, there's no way you really did that. I was like, sadly, yes. Yes, God bless those women who just
This is what I do
took it.
when I tongue
Yeah.
punch
Yeah.
your fart box.
And the thing is, too,
Clitoris
like,
is a myth. We all know that.
If you
It's
watch
a myth.
porn, like porn's not going to help you because that's kind of like they don't do that well on porn.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm watching the wrong porn.
You've been gooning, bro. You've been gooning too much.
What's a rim job?
I was thinking a 7-inch clip.
just piggybacking on that, we were talking about being a paramedic. You see some wild stuff. What's cool about being a paramedic is you can go into like some of the worst neighborhoods. And I worked in LA for forever. And like, if you're on the ambulance, you're like, thumbs up, you're good to go because you're there to help grandma. You're not a cop.
Yeah.
It's like, come on in, buddy. So you go into some wild places. And one day we went in, and there was a little old lady. She's like 90 years old,
Jesus.
maybe 95. And she's sitting in her bed, and she has a blanket. And I'm not violating any HIPAA laws, okay?
Yeah. Her
I'm not a
uterus already fell out.
I'm all right. Bro, you're freaking right on it.
Oh, God.
So
no.
there's
Gross.
we go, what, why did you call? And she goes, my vagina fell out. And we go, huh? Turns out there's such a thing when you get old enough and everything, gravity, think about gravity, called a prolapsed vagina.
Oh, my God.
So they're like, Freeman, go take that blanket and go ahead and take a peek. So I went over there, and I was not prepared for what I saw. Sure enough.
I'm not prepared for this story.
This is just the beginning. I got a better one.
God, dude.
Yeah, do you want these
Yeah,
stories?
yeah, send it.
It's troubling, but she was as sweet as could be, and I said, has this happened before? She said, it has. She's like, just take me to the hospital, and they put it back in. And so that was something I discovered that, like, they didn't teach us in paramedic
What do they put it
school.
back with?
It's great. I think they just lift you up like this. And like
Shake you by your ankles.
Shake you by your
One of
ankles.
those fucking
putting on a
inversion
shoe.
tables, like the people they use
on
for
a
your
boot.
back.
Yeah.
Inversion table. You're like hanging by your fucking ankles.
But she was a classy broad, you know what I mean? She kept it cool. She was a nice lady.
So what does
She-
a prolapsed vagina look like?
It's just not good, dude. It's a lot.
Is it like a pink Crown Royal bag hanging out?
Oh, God, dude. Nick. Similar. Yeah. Similar. Fleshy. It looks fleshy. But this is the worst
We'll find some pictures.
story ever.
Put on the
And this is
site.
totally, you might want to turn off your podcast right now and just maybe go take a break. But I don't know if you know about the mean streets when people are messing around. Shit gets dark on the streets, all right? When you are balls deep in mental illness and addiction, like it is the jungle out there. They don't play by the same rules as us in civilized society. So we get a call one night that there is somebody that has like an infection and needs to go to the hospital, which is like, okay, it's like 2 a.m, whatever. We get there, and it's a guy who's been living on the streets, living fast, living hard, and he has an abscess in his abdomen that is like crazy infected. I'm talking like nasty. And we're like talking to the other tweaker people around, like, what's going on? What's going on? I'm sorry.
No, do it.
This is what was happening. This man
Expose the truth.
had decided to make a little side cash.
Oh, no.
So people,
Oh no.
you know where this is
no.
going, were paying to the abdomen. And because they were doing that, and what results, the infection
What
grew.
the fuck?
This
Did he get
is
stabbed or something?
no, dude. It was just like something that had happened that had grown, and this guy was making a
Pretty
side
little
hustle, and that is why you don't do drugs.
Come and
kids.
fuck my side, baby.
Yeah.
Oh
It's wild.
I couldn't imagine that.
Dude.
It's
And also,
filth.
I mean, the other side of that too is like, I understand people doing some weird shit, but there's like a level like that's some like fucked up shit.
It's
I think
wild.
I tap out at feet maybe.
Yeah.
And this guy's just like,
Yeah.
give me that liver.
Or dudes.
Oh.
I know.
Talk about it's different than
dude.
beating them guts up.
I know. Fuck, dude.
That's the name of this lift out, Beating Guts.
Beaten Guts. Welcome to the Beaten Guts pod, where
is-
we discuss the worst
That is some
things
fucked
ever.
up shit though,
Yeah.
because that smell. Like I remember years ago, this dude walked into fucking Danny's, and it was one of those times where I think they were putting up a plaque of somebody that had passed away, and this dude walks in, and dude, you smelled him before he walked in,
Yeah.
and I just remember like by the fucking those swinging fucking saloon doors, and he comes in, and you're just like, holy shit! And it doesn't smell like BO or funk; it smells like disease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you like look down, and he had one of his legs. He's wearing like these, like, fucking hiking boots, and his one leg, he had the fucking pants like pushed up because I guess his leg had swollen up so fucking bad he couldn't pull his leg of his pants down. And dude, it was all like just red, like you could tell it was just infected.
So why is he going to the bar instead of the hospital? What the fuck?
I don't know.
Was he homeless? Because
He was homeless as fuck, but the dude was in there. He was trying to like maybe somebody take pity on him and give him a fucking burger or something. But dude,
Did you give him a burger?
no, I
penance.
just said get the fuck out of the fucking place.
Did you give him a
and told me,
fry?
I'm like, dude, they're gonna cut your fucking leg
Yeah.
off if
Oh,
you don't go to the
handstand.
fucking hospital, bro. And he was like, no, we're like, no, it'll be fine. It's done this before.
I've always wanted to be a pirate.
It's done.
And I'm like, no, dude, I can smell your fucking leg. It was like gangrene. It was
Yeah.
like turning black.
Dude, it's not the 1700s. You don't got to
No.
deal with
Yeah,
this.
it was pretty
seriously.
fucked up, dude.
Yeah,
But
that's
that smell, you never forget.
yeah. You know, every time I tell stories like this on a podcast, I have big goals, big future goals, and I'm
You
always
getting
like,
a
they're gonna
boner?
come back. They're gonna come back to this, and they're gonna be like, did he just talk about that, this, and the other thing? But it's okay because I think you got to keep it real.
You're like
right?
ready to goon now.
Yeah,
aren't you?
this is. I'm in full goon mode, dude. Let's go.
Tell me about
do
that
it.
abscess again.
Well, one is education, and the other's providing medical aid and,
Yeah.
and assistance to the impoverished.
So
So
you can make a T-shirt out of a gooner or something.
we got to have sloth.
The
on there.
Goonies.
Just-
Can I ask a question?
The original Goonies.
Okay, so I'm just curious. The SDV section or whatever, the SEAL delivery vehicle
Yeah.
guys, are they like the nerds of the SEALs?
No,
They're not.
They're really good. I just, I feel like and every team guy has kind of like, I think similar opinions on this, but
Yeah.
a little bit different. Nobody I know wants to go to STV, but the really hardcore guys, I think, go and fucking do it.
Fucking embrace it.
Do it extremely well.
Yeah.
Which I think those guys are much harder than me because I would probably just quit the SEAL teams before I'd fucking go to STV.
So they're
to be
just
honest.
isolated for a long time underwater.
It's
for
a
like,
completely different job.
completely different job.
Completely different. Like you're
Imagine
almost-
doing like a fucking 8 or 10 hour dive.
yeah,
Just underwater.
but
for
you're
that
not even
extended
moving.
amount of
You're
time,
you're
dude.
sitting in a freaking extended.
You're
coffin
not talking
for
to
hours.
each other. It's silent.
No, you're talking. They have
They
headsets
talk,
and shit.
yeah.
But dude, I remember there was this dude at Team 5. I can't remember his name. He had came from STV 1, and he was at 5, and he got an award. I remember probably like a Navy comm or some shit. But dude, it was for he had more time underwater than like
Wow.
anybody in the fucking SEAL team. And dude, it was like thousands of fucking hours. And like it said, like his longest dive was like over like 8 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not an award I would ever.
And that was like accrued over like a 5-year tour at STV 1. And it was just like, yep.
Yeah.
And so many hours underwater, and you're just like, oh my God,
Yeah.
dude.
Well, the benefit of that
and he
is-
was not a little guy either.
Yeah, they send the biggest dudes
That's
there.
the
It's crazy.
shittiest fucking part. It's
You
like
think they'd
trying
send-
to crawl into like a fucking a coffin, bro.
Yeah.
You think they'd send the Smurf crew there, but no. All the dudes I know that went to STV are like fucking pretty big
guys.
dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the benefit of that is that it truly is like its own world, and they do some super secret, legit shit that
sneaky
they
stuff.
can't even like.
Yeah.
You don't even ask them because you know it's just rude to ask those guys. Like they do some really, really secret shit. They don't
Yeah.
even tell anybody about.
Interesting.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
I know Trevor Thompson, good buddy of mine. He was at SDV1, and he ended up having to get medically chaptered out, I believe. And it's like, sorry, Trevor, if I got that wrong. But he did say the moral of the story is that he was dealing with a lot of kind of medical issues from just excessive deep dives and like a couple bends treatments
Shit's
and
no
the
joke,
hyperbaric
man.
chamber and like they really kind of push those guys to the limit.
A friend of mine
Yeah.
died doing that. Eric Schellenberger. He's a former Force Recon Marine. Came over. He was in my sister platoon.
Yeah, Shelley.
He was in my sister platoon. He was in Alpha when we were in Bravo. Hell of a guy. Like everything that you'd expect like a Force Recon Marine dude to be, and then come over to SEAL teams. He was and he's jacked and funny and smart and handsome. Like he's a great dude.
Soft hands.
Yeah.
Gentle
And,
touch.
Yeah, he died. He died doing SDV stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Can
Dude,
ask
I
what-
just remember there was this fucking story of Crimmins used to tell this story about because he was at EDU at the experimental diving unit.
Oh, yeah.
After he left Team 4, went to EDU, and then came to 5. He used to tell these stories about dudes that were at I think it's all unclassified now, but they used to during the fucking Cold War. These divers, these sat divers, they would go down and they would fucking place this like giant like fucking magnet or some bullshit on there's these communication lines that run the floor of the Atlantic. The military found out where these were, placed like this communications thing, and it was attached to the like these fucking well, anyways, they would have to go and change this thing out every like quarter or every month or some shit like that. And like there were these at least 2 guys that Crimmins used to talk about. They were they were enlisted sat divers, and they were given the fucking Legion of Merit, which is a pretty fucking high. I would say higher than a fucking Bronze Star.
Yeah.
And typically it's not peacetime, wartime. It's kind of in its own like thing.
Well, the level of importance and danger on that mission is
and all the
highly
shit was
critical.
classified. Like the fucking write-up was classified. But where I'm going with this is there's a bunch of fucking team guys that have since, because at the time there were no enlisted dudes that are getting these fucking Legions of Merit. I mean, it's just unheard of. Like you see like dudes that are putting on like general, like I remember General Mulholland in OIF 1. He was the guy in charge of the soda fucking AP, in charge of Iraq, and he was 5th Group CO. And when he left, he received a Legion of Merit with a V, with all his fucking shit, and that's like for commanding. I mean, fucking a shit ton of fucking dudes in the very
big
beginning
job.
of 2003. These dudes are getting the same fucking award, maybe not with a V, but for placing. I mean, it was classified shit, placing all this shit, but. Since then, apparently, and maybe I'm talking out of my ass, but what I've heard and talked to dudes that are at Trade 3 in Hawaii is there's a bunch of fucking enlisted team guys that have done such amazing shit with fucking SDVs and the stuff that they do and have received the same fucking receiving awards on that fucking level as well.
Yeah,
like
it's pretty wild
sneaking,
stuff.
peeking,
Yeah, well, recently when they blew up the was it the Nordic pipeline or something?
We don't know who that was.
Yeah,
who
did
was it? Well, well, somebody somewhere.
Interesting.
I want to ask you guys though, when
Well, SDVs don't go that deep, so
they don't go that deep. Okay, so we don't know.
As far as I know, I don't know.
So submarines would go that deep.
I have no idea, to be honest.
No idea. Interesting.
But
Cyborg.
yeah, but also the military as a whole that's why they're using saturation divers to do that and not team guys. Because team guys are not.
What's a saturation diver?
It's where you're like super deep. So you have to have different rigs.
Oh,
different,
with the
Like hard hat divers.
yeah, which is not what team guys do at all. Our stuff is mainly like usually 20 feet and shallower. Mm-hmm. So, and STVs, I don't know what their depth is, but I
heard it's around 300.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
because they use like a Mark 15,
14,
Mark 16.
So one of those like underwater jet skis where it's like two guys in the dome.
Yeah.
Different breathing rigs. But yeah, it's they do some like crazy top secret shit.
That's so interesting.
It's pretty wild.
I was watching Mythbusters the other day, and they were talking about those sat divers and how there was a myth that one of them had the pressure valve like separate from their suit, and so now you're dealing with all of the water pressure and all of that stuff. And it literally, and they put like a full, mock-up human in there with like guts and anatomy and bones and everything. And it took the entire fucking diver and put it into the dive bubble of the diver. Like the suit just like did this, and everything from this individual went up into
his helmet.
Into his helmet.
Pressure's crazy.
I'm like, what?
Shit.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's a whole different level of danger, dude. Like,
Yeah.
And oftentimes, like, talk about trusting your equipment. There's nothing you can do about it either.
Yeah.
It's like, well, because you can't go straight up because then you're fucked. You can't stay down because you're fucked. You're kind of just like,
those dudes live down there for fucking like months. Like
That's not something a guy's going to do for a whole career, though, right? Really?
Yeah.
They're just,
I mean, but
water
you typically, the more times you get bent and the more times you have issues, then the more susceptible you are to it. So it gets to a point where
it's like a fighter getting punched in the jaw.
Yeah, it's like, hey, man, like what was the movie with Robert De Niro and Cuba Gooding Jr.?
Oh, not a
Men of Honor.
Men of Honor. Yeah. So that was basically the thing. Like you saw Robert De Niro had fucking gone down there and he basically fucked himself up. He got either the bends or fucking arterial gas embolism or some kind of shit where he had to be put in a fucking in a barometric chamber, hyperbaric chamber. Sorry. And press back down. But I mean, I don't know that you can ever get all of that shit pressed out of your system to where, I mean, it's when it happens, it's gonna do some level of damage to your fucking body.
Yeah. Also, it's like a chicken and the egg type thing. Like, I don't know if you do enough diving, you get weird, or just weird people attracted to diving. But all the divers I know are like a little bit.
Well, don't they say that about the submarine guys? Dude, I have a neighbor he's still in the Navy, and he's a sub guy. Brother, he goes into his garage, shuts the garage. He's lived there. I've lived next to him for 15 years. He does something. We know nothing about him. Nothing. He's the and I'm like, he's either the smartest guy in the world and just avoids all the neighborhood drama, or he's a super weirdo.
Both. He's probably sleeping in a propane tank.
Something weird. I gotta ask you though, do you still get pissed off about the movie The Rock when the Marines kill all the Navy SEALs? That upset me when I was in the theater. I was like, this is bullshit.
That was
and
actually...
He's like, we have an elevated position. And then they all die, and you're like,
they kill them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty fucked up.
It was, right?
Yeah.
It was devastating.
That was actually a really good story, though, about... in one of these days, we're going to have Harry Humphreys on the show. And, dude,
how old's Harry these days?
He's in his 80s.
Wow.
No shit, really?
Dude, he's
oh, wow.
I
thought he was 60s.
Dude, you would look at him and be like, dude, he's in better shape than I am, which isn't saying a lot, but he's in great fucking shape. And that's like one of those things where like Harry, he started, that was his first show was The Rock. And the reason they pulled him in to be the tech advisor on that show because he was helping Jerry Bruckheimer develop a screenplay for Rogue Warrior. So they had purchased Rogue Warrior to make as a movie.
Oh shit! I didn't know
and
that.
They were flying Dick Marcinko out from Virginia to L.A. And Dick would show up and they would ask him 2 questions and then they would like, well, all right, see you later. And he's like, what the fuck, man? Like, I'm flying all the way across the fucking country. Yeah. You asked me 2 questions, and this
could have been a phone call.
Well, it was before email and shit like that, and so it got to a point where Harry lived in Huntington Beach at the time, and he goes, "Dude, I got a guy, Harry Humphreys, who's been in the military, this many years. He was, great fucking guy. Team 2, multiple tours of Vietnam, knows as much about my life as I do type shit. And was like, pull him in. And Harry was legitimately doing, I want to say he was doing a lot of this stuff kind of pro bono, was like as a favor to Dick Morcinko. And then they're like, hey, we got this movie called The Rock. And that was Michael Bay's second film after Bad Boys. And, Jerry Bruckheimer, Don Simpson producing it. Nick Cage was, still relatively unknown actor. Sean Connery, fucking huge fucking actor. And they bring Harry in, and that was one of those things where anybody that knows anything about Michael Bay was apparently having, he was talking to somebody on set and was like, hey, I want it quiet in here. And supposedly the story goes with Harry was he was telling Joe Hawes, who had a shotgun, how to do a combat reload through either the top or the bottom with a fucking 870. And Harry's like, hey, I said I want it fucking quiet in here. Or Bay is like, I said I want it quiet in here. And apparently Harry took offense to somebody screaming at him on fucking set and again, it's Harry's first foray, and he was like, fuck you, and literally walked off set. And all the team guys were real team guys that Harry had brought on. Those are all dudes that were instructors at Bud's when I was there. Mm-hmm. Denny Chalker and Decker and Ward and
Steve Decker
and fucking Joe Hawes and all these team guys were the dudes playing team guys, and they fucking walked off set and and fucking Bruckheimer just looked at Bay.
It's good solidarity,
though. Hey,
man,
we've already shot way too much fucking shit. You better go get those motherfuckers because... and so apparently... And then, maybe I probably should have waited for Harry to be here to tell the story, but I've heard it so many fucking times that they go out and then they're like, go to Crafty and then Michael Bay goes out and says the most fucked up shit that you probably don't want anybody saying. Like, instead of going out there and apologizing, and like most team guys know this, like if you're going to solve a problem, you walk up to somebody and be like, hey man, let's go behind the fucking Connex box, which means we're going to go fucking fight this shit out and beat the shit out of each other. And then it's settled. Yeah. So he walks out to Harry, goes, hey, can I see you around the corner? And Harry's like, okay, motherfucker. It's fucking go time. And so they go around the corner, and he's
already got his shirt off.
Yeah, he thinks he's going around there to throw fucking hands, and they go around, and it's like, hey, blah, blah, blah. No yelling. He apologizes, and... Dude. They're like, oh shit! I thought we were gonna get in a fucking fight.
You just said a name. You said Dennis Chalker.
Yeah,
is that his name? Okay. Did he make those videos, like Navy SEAL videos, where he like shows you how to shoot and how to fight and stuff? There was somebody that was like early VHS.
Yeah,
I literally would try to get.
I think that was Karachi.
That's who it is. I want my money back. I'm 0-3 in street fights. I just fucking like the last one was the worst shit ever.
Dude, yeah, that was...
I got my ass kicked.
That was some of the...
It was bad.
I can't remember wasn't there two Karachis? There was like a CJ Karachi, and then there was...
That's who it is. Brother. Yes.
I thought, was one of them a Delta guy? I thought there was a Delta guy doing that.
No, I think they were both SEALs. I think the dudes who started Lynx.
Oh, the
that did all the VBSS stuff.
Don't throw the Army under the bus, dude. We don't make movies.
The best dude ever. I used to watch these. Again, it's so dumb. Like I should have just wrestled.
I got a Jamie Vernon.
We got to hear the fight story after this.
Dude, it's bad. And it's so dumb considering what I do now, how I make a living, how it all started. Yeah, you want to hear it?
Yeah, hell yeah,
dude. We're outside a bar, and it's right when Snapchat started. Again, this is pre me doing social media or whatever.
Oh, there's Chris Karachi, and then there's
Dennis Chalker.
Well, Denny Chalker was definitely a team guy.
No, it's Karachi. He was like he did all the
Chris CJ Karachi has over 30 years of combined military and law enforcement experience. But I thought he had a brother. Maybe I'm just getting CJ confused with Chris.
But they would make those rad videos. It's like the ones that Boss Rudin makes, you know,
Yeah,
where it's
yeah.
just like, you're in the bar, you boom, da 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 boom, da boom, and then you walk out. And you're
Boss
like,
is actually a legit bar fight.
yeah,
actually.
exactly.
I can get Boss on the podcast
Exactly.
next time he's in town. That'd be
I love
cool.
that shot.
Exactly.
That'd be funny.
So I'm drinking with a bunch of friends. We're hanging out, and this is never a good idea, guys. Just I love to go on side quests where I disappear, but when you're inebriated,
Yep.
like you're vulnerable.
Mark and Chris
vulnerable.
Karachi. Sorry.
There it is.
Okay, so
And you're
there you have
thinking
it.
at this point, I'm like, I've watched some videos. You know, I have a black belt in
Just downloaded it from the
VHS
Matrix. Ready to
Black
go.
belt.
videos, maybe
VHS.
DVD at this point. And across the street from the bar, there's a dude whipping up the bacon wrapped hot dogs, and I'm like, yes, dude. This is the.
I'm
sad-
gonna whip that
this is the
guy's
sad
ass.
part. Dude. This isn't that long ago. I'm like 32, 33. I'm married with kids at this point, which is even more embarrassing. Don't do this, kids. So I wander over and I look to my left, and there's 3 guys that have bought bacon wrapped hot dogs. And it's literally when this used to be weird when you saw someone doing
Yeah.
this. You'd be like, that's
Yeah.
the,
What a
and,
dork.
and they're holding their hot dogs and they're making some video for Snapchat. And I'm whammied and I look over, I go, that's the gayest shit I have ever seen. And they're like, what? And I just start talking mad shit on them. Like, yeah, that's ridiculous. Meanwhile, secretly inside, I'm like, I wish I could make a video with my phone. Something fun for the masses, whatever.
I wish I had something phallic shaped in my
Exactly.
mouth.
And I'm
video.
talking shit, and I start to walk away after I get my hot dog. And then I go, I could take them. And I start walking back. So it's 3-on-1. And I'm talking shit, saying
hot
things
dog.
I'm not proud of. And the littlest guy, he keeps getting closer and closer, and I can see his face, like his brow furrowing, and he's like, and he just keeps going, you old fuck, you old fucking man. I'm like 32. I'm like, I don't know fucking old. But in my mind, I'm thinking like, what was the self-defense move? And I remember they talked about the monkey dance. It's called the monkey dance. You start talking and eventually someone's gonna like poke you in the chest. And sure enough, one of the guys like pokes me in the chest and I go, don't you, and I have hot dog in this hand. I'm like, don't you touch me again. And he reaches out and he touches me and then I'm like, death palm to the bridge of the nose. But instead of that, it was just like it was like I pet him like a kitty cat. And the next thing I know, this little guy, next thing I know, I'm on my back like this, and I'm like totally comfortable here. I've been to a couple jiu-jitsu classes, no problem. And then I hear somebody scream out, don't kick people in the head when they're on the ground. That's not, and then I realized, oh, that's my head that got kicked on the ground. Next thing I know,
Did you spill your hot dog though?
I did.
It's
I did.
straight up.
And we'll get to that. That night, a bouncer saved my life. Some bouncer, God bless him, ran out, picked me up. Those guys run into the night, and then it's just me and the hot dog guy and the sad thing. And he looks at me and he's like I just got my ass kicked. He goes, can I make you another hot dog? And I was like, no. Walked across,
ketchup
went
on it?
home that night, full big black eye. My wife's like, you're so dumb. Like, you realize if your head hits the concrete, you die. And we're alone, and like maybe that's the better choice. Maybe we'd be better off without you. So that was number 3 of the 0-3. Yeah, terrible.
Nice.
I highly regret getting my ass kicked so many times. It's happened. It's happened.
I think the last fight I got on, I got beat up too. I got straight up knocked out, one dude.
Dude, it's the
like,
worst.
God damn it! I feel like such a fucking loser.
That was the first. I've been knocked out like riding BMX bikes or like hit hard surfing, like wipeouts and stuff. But it's the strangest thing. Like here you are 1 second, then you're on the ground, you're semi-conscious. And like when you're that wasted, like you're
Yeah.
not feeling your head getting stomped in. You don't feel it till
I
later.
didn't feel anything. I was like talking
Yeah.
shit, and then like
Yep.
wake up, I'm like, where'd everybody go?
Yeah, what happened?
At least they were gone.
And instantly
Yeah, at least it didn't
sober,
fuck
by
me
the
up
way.
when I was-
Yeah.
Oh,
Amazing
yeah,
how
that
that
adrenaline
getting
kicks in
knocked out.
quick.
So I was like, I need to make better choices. We need to reevaluate our life. We gotta
Instantly
get it-
regret.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a long time to think about it on the long walk home.
Yeah.
And then Disney fucking found me. I got to find a picture of me the next day. My chin looked like Thanos,
Oh,
bro. It
shit.
must have like almost broke because my chin, I already got a big chin,
Yeah.
but it was like, it looked like Kevin's beard, but like all flesh. It was bad.
Looked
dude.
like the tick.
I was like, I'm not going to talk shit anymore when I go out. Yeah.
You go, I am an adult man.
Yeah,
It's time to grow
and,
up.
And it's like like one of those lessons, like in your like career move? You're like, okay, I need to be less drunk the next time I pick a fight, and then you get your ass kicked, and then you're like, okay, well, maybe now I shouldn't run my mouth next time I get in a fight. So now I'm less drunk. Now I'm not running my mouth, and you slowly just kind of start getting this apex. But by that time you're 40.
Yeah, you're like, well, maybe fighting's not a good idea.
So that's what I was saying about turning 40. It was like just a little bit of wisdom, just enough wisdom, finally met with enough experience to be like,
that's 40. Yeah,
now
exactly.
we make better choices. And then you're like, I could have done this when I was 20, but then you're like, could I
Wouldn't have
have?
been nearly as fun though.
Like one of the other lessons is like kind of like read the room, try to figure out how many people he's with. That way you don't think this is going to be a one-on-one, and all of a sudden you're starting getting haymakered. Because I thought it was the same thing one time.
I fought 5 people 3 different times. I didn't win any of them. Yeah.
I think I was over 40 the last time I was ever in a fight, and I got my bridge knocked out. I had this fucking bridge right here, and it was at Kavner's wake, and we were at Danny's, and the dude hucked a fucking shot glass at one of the bartenders, and I was like, motherfucker. And I was like giving him a tune-up, and dude, he fucking headbutted me, and my fucking tooth goes flying. I was like, oh, this sucks.
I bet you looked great.
Oh, dude. I got a fucking funny picture because my daughter, like not long before that, had like fallen in the fucking shower and of course lost her fucking baby tooth. And so there's a picture of me. We're laying in bed, and I'm like hugging her. I'm like missing a fucking tooth, and she's missing the same fucking tooth.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are there dudes that are just straight up like non-drinkers in the teams?
Yeah.
That are sober as like a.
Yeah.
And it's actually getting more commonplace than it used to be. It used to be, there were it was very fucking odd. You'd have a fucking guy didn't drink.
Mm-hmm.
But
now,
some of those guys who would do that had like big personalities and characters. So like they were more fun not drinking.
Good time to be
than a
around
lot of
still.
guys were.
Yeah.
Which I wish I could do, but I'm just not that interesting unless I'm drinking a little bit.
Well, has AJ always been sober? AJ James?
Yeah.
Has he really?
Yeah. And then also, dude, like good thing, because I've heard from probably 15 to 20 team guys that he's the last team guy they would ever want to fight.
You need to have
Who's
that
that,
guy
AJ?
on. That's such a fascinating story. His whole story is like, what a life. And then to like the guy that had never really been in the ocean or knew how to swim, and he was older when he joined the Navy. I mean, it's a crazy story.
Yeah, we should get him on, actually.
Yeah, or Remy would be a great guy. Remy Adelecki, too.
Remy,
That
actually,
guy's a
I saw
sweetheart.
him
Nice guy.
at a C4 event, I believe. And I asked him to be on the podcast, and he's fully on board. And also, I thought he was up in LA for some reason, but he's down here.
He's been down here. He was a client of ours for a while. He used to ship out his stuff, It's a great dude.
because isn't his wife like a doctor or something?
I don't know. I've known
I
him.
thought he was down in like Chula Vista.
He's got another great story, dude. Like, he was an African prince.
Yeah, literally an African prince.
Yeah.
Like, not the email kind either.
No. Like,
I want to send you $4 million. Shit, I just got to upload my fucking bank account information? All right.
Yeah, like the one that's catfishing my grandma right now.
I'm curious though. Like, were you in the Navy pre 9/11?
Yeah. We both were.
Yeah.
So
I joined in 92.
no way.
Yeah.
Okay, so all
I
that
was in my
stuff.
4th platoon when
You guys are
9/11 happened.
training. Then all this pops off. I mean, I'm assuming there's no way to know what it's going to be like to actually go to war. I mean, what do you?
Yeah.
Were you like? Oh right, we actually get to go do something.
Well,
or were you
I
like,
did stuff in my 1st platoon.
Yeah.
So before 9/11, like we did like some real world shit. So like when 9/11 happened, it was like, okay, I'd done some real shit, but it was like non-compliant shipboardings and stuff. We're not really expecting to get shot at, but it was like, it could happen,
Mm-hmm.
And then we deployed like 2 months after 9/11, and it's like, all right, we're going to the fucking show. And then we go to Guam.
Yeah.
And we're like, God damn it.
You just didn't do shit for like 9 months after that. It was
We
while.
went to Zambo. We stood up the fucking debt in Zamboanga, which was the huge Philippine debt. And, we're down there thinking, okay, Abu Sayyaf group was popping off down there. And then at that time, the fucking U.S. government was like, hey, everybody's fair game. Like, if you're a jihadi, it's, and they had been they had been cutting people's fucking heads off for fucking years, and so we stood up this debt in Zambo.
That's a detachment, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was the C. Jasota PI in
It's Joint Special
So
Operations.
I was going to say ANCH is an acronym with the larger acronym.
yeah. Joint Special
you asked. I'm
Operations
sitting here
Task
like,
Force.
Yeah, I have to do it for the
huh?
listeners.
Yeah.
You got a debt, you got to pay.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. Detachment versus Joint Special Operations Task Force in the Philippines. So we go down there and we stand this up. It's in like Mindanao, and there's like a bunch of smaller islands, like Holo Island and fucking all these different islands down there. And we were down there for, I don't know, we weren't down there very long, maybe 3 or 4 weeks. And then Ron Culpepper's platoon relieved us, and we went back to Guam. And dude, within a few weeks of them fucking relieving us, like they got in a tick, troops in contact.
No shit.
And they fucking were getting after it, like they got shot at from the shore, and they were on like either a Mark V or some ribs, and the rib was just like fucking fucking miniguns, fucking. They're like,
Yeah, dude.
okay then, and they all got like combat action ribbons and shit. We're like, you fucking assholes, you didn't fucking do shit, you motherfuckers. And then it was cool. We wound up doing some other cool trips. We went to Sri Lanka, which,
Oh, yeah.
you know, it was after 9/11. We thought, you know, maybe something will pop off.
Tamil
No,
Tigers
not
up there,
really.
yeah.
Yeah, the LTTE is not going to fucking invade fucking Colombo.
Yeah, and if they do, I don't give a shit
yeah.
either way.
But then we wound up going to Singapore, and there was a lot of shit popping off right there with the Straits of Malacca, with a bunch of other shit that's probably shouldn't be talking about, but it was real world and like national level shit that actually had to be approved by Joint Chiefs of Staff and stuff, and we were just like, this shit's not gonna happen. And then our OIC would come down and be like, hey, all right, we're on. We're like, oh shit, all right. And, you know, you got fucking P3s overhead and fucking all kinds of air support like that you never had before when you're doing all the practice runs for this shit. And you're like, oh. So, you know, once 9/11 happened, and then once we finally did some real shit, because I remember in 2003 in Iraq, our first real world op in Iraq was flying into this giant fucking dam up in northern Iraq with 6 fucking helicopters.
Oh,
and
the
fucking,
DPVs and everything?
Yeah, riding these fucking DPVs. And, you know, it's literally driving into the fucking unknown, because you're like, man, I mean, this fucking gate could come down on this helicopter and we could literally get the shit shot out of us.
Is it daytime or nighttime?
No, it was nighttime. But still, you know, where it's like,
Yeah.
and at the time, afterwards, we find out there was all these fucking twin, you know, what are 51 millimeter, 54 millimeter fucking anti-aircraft guns all over this fucking place that anyone with half a brain could have got in and just shot a bunch of helicopters.
Well, that's
out
the
of
thing
them.
too. Early in the war, you didn't know the capabilities of the enemy, so thankfully they have no brain. So
Yeah.
it's actually fairly.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty fucking crazy, man. Like most of the dudes, you know, by the time we bombed the shit out of that place and then we went in and started kind of sweeping up, you know, most of the people who had the will to fight quickly lost the will to fight because Baghdad had already been taken. I mean, this was in like April of 2003 when we went in and did that. So, I mean, we're already, you know, 2-3 weeks into the war. But, yeah, man, it's a fucking pucker factor. Like, you could have been hard to drive a fucking nail up your ass with a fucking pucker factor trying to fucking...
Do you guys find, like, were there guys that, like, they're not tested yet, they act like badasses, and then you get there and you're like, this dude's kind of worthless, I don't really trust him, and then there's guys that you would never suspect that are like just like duck to water. It's like, does that happen?
Yeah, we had 2 we had to send to headquarters company, and that, I mean, it was a gnarly tick, and they actually literally just couldn't pull the trigger. Like, there was guys running back and forth the street with RPGs and AKs, and we're like, fucking go. And like, you look over and you got, you know, the one twink that has 3 Article 15s, and he just like cyclic with his, you know, 48 or 249. And then you got the E5 or corporal that like wasn't shooting. And they're just looking like frantic. And we were like,
such
what
a crazy thing. Even
fuck?
if all the training, all the reps, still when the real thing happens, there's going to be.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I mean, you can kind of predict it, but you still can't, I guess. But
Yeah.
I've only seen it twice.
Because the 90s teams were different. Because I came in 98, and the 90s teams were different. Because there wasn't, like, Kevin got really lucky to do that op. That was the only game in town was going over and doing the the VBSS stuff, which is visit, boarding, search, and seizure.
Yeah.
For basically either coming up on ships or fast jumping onto tankers or whatever has been taken over by pirates, right? But that was kind of few and far between. You were really lucky if you got that.
Yeah.
So there's a whole, like, 30 years from Vietnam until, 9/11 that we didn't get to do shit aside from the small one-off stuff. And I did my first platoon before 9/11. I think we just got back, and then 9/11 happened. And I don't remember it at the time, but from what I heard from the other guys was that a lot of dudes were they liked the 90s teams and they weren't ready. They didn't want to go to war.
Yeah, there's probably guys that got
So
out.
guys were getting out and
Yeah.
like doing, which is whatever. I mean, that's good
Go
to
live your
recognize
life.
that yourself and do that. Yeah, we did have one. Dude, it's the weirdest thing. I remember this student going through when I went to be an instructor in 2004. I was a third phase instructor, and I remember this kid coming through in first phase. And I don't really remember the first phase students because I wasn't a first phase instructor, but this kid looked so fucking weird. I don't want to say his name because he's a really good guy, but he looked like a fucking alien. He looked like a gray with this big bulbous head and big eyes and kind of weird
Maybe
looking.
he was.
A gray.
Dude, I only remember this. Dude, he's so odd.
Hey, you
looking.
look like a gray kid. That's great.
That's the
so
biggest
odd
insult
looking,
I
you know?
could ever call somebody.
I mean, if you saw this kid, you'd be like, "Oh, I know what you mean."
Like,
man.
yep.
And
Phone
so
home.
he ended up. He's a hard dude, but he ended up quitting for some reason. And I remember I remember chatting with him a little bit and like whatever. So he ended up coming back later. So I was a third phase instructor. He came back when I was an SQT instructor, and he made it all the way through. And I saw him as an SQT instructor. And this kid was
ET's back.
Yeah,
What's up, Gray?
Yeah, dude. And he was a good dude. He was solid. He was a decent bud student. He wasn't terrible, and he ended up quitting in SQT. He quit
Interesting.
in
pretty rare,
during
right?
super rare, super fucking rare. So
Yeah.
only in, I think it's 14 years I was a total, or 12 or 13 years I was a total instructor. I ever saw or heard of. This is the only guy I heard of even quitting in SQT.
Wow.
And the reason that he quit, because I was talking to him like, "Hey, bro, like, what you're in CQC training? Like, what?
Yeah.
What are you quitting for? You made it through the second fucking time. Like, why'd you put yourself through all this, and then fucking leave?" And he told me, he's like, "Look, I realized that the paper targets I was going to have to shoot were going to be people one day, and I don't think I could do it." And part of me is like, two thoughts on this. Number one, good that you recognize that in yourself and got yourself out of there before you put other people in danger. Cool. Totally respect that. The other thing is, you fucking moron. Like, why did you go through all
read
this
what we
shit?
do for a living?
Why would you put yourself through this just to get to
Yeah.
this point? Like, what the fuck?
At least get your trident
Like, this
first.
can't be a surprise,
Because he
bro.
was studying humans,
Right,
naval
exactly.
special
He was studying
operations,
humans.
and he had got all the feedback he needed,
Yeah.
and he was
So-
taking it back to his
After
home
that,
planet.
Literally what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I made it because you learn something with every interaction with students, as an instructor. So one of the conversations I would have with students after that is I made sure to tell them, it's like, hey, one of my introduction briefs is like, what do you think your job is as a SEAL? And these are like SQT students. So they're like, to be fucking the tip of the spear, whatever. And I'm like, no, your job is to kill people as quickly and effectively as possible. All the jumping, all the diving is just a way to get you
Yep.
to the target. Once you're there, your job is to kill people, period. And if you have a problem with that, like, you maybe consider going doing something else, But it was just wild to me that, like, all the information, all this stuff, this guy's gone through it
that
twice.
is interesting.
And he still is just like, didn't occur to him that he might have to do the job. But also I commend him for, having the wherewithal to be like, hey man, raising his hand, he's got to take a lot of shit for that. I'm like, bro, good for you.
Yeah, and doing it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, we had a couple of
Hard
dudes in the 03 platoon or 02 when we formed up, because we were basically formed up as like a mobility platoon. prior to going to Iraq, and it was like a super troop, and so three platoons were going to go down to Iraq, and then 3 platoons were going to go to PACOM, and then our platoon, they were pulling dudes out of the woodwork to kind of go, hey, like, who the fuck wants to be in this 4th platoon that's going to get a chance to go to fucking war? And dude, you would be so fucking surprised to see there were so many dudes that were either hiding out in departments,
right,
that didn't want to fucking do a platoon, or we had 2 guys that had just checked in. Both those guys wound up in that platoon, and one of them got super. He had been in for a while and got super religious, and it was just fucking weird, man. Like, you know, not to say that you can't be religious and still be an effective warfighter.
Yeah.
And then the other dude was East Coast guy, and you know, wasn't really a bad dude until like we got down range, and then he kept making these fucking epic mistakes.
Yeah.
Like he, like at one point we were on the range, and he was, dude, we're basically shooting the Mark 19, like getting dudes qualled up, because I mean, you'd be surprised like how many people, team guys, know how to take apart a 50 cal, an M2, know how to take apart a Mark 19, know how to effectively troubleshoot those fucking weapons when they start going down and shit. Because, I mean, especially in the 90s, we didn't do a lot of vehicle mounted shit. It was all foot patrols and getting in and out of helicopters, getting in and out of boats.
And you're not carrying that shit.
Yeah. And so once we started, we're like, dude, everything you're going to be doing, you're going to be, you know, mobilized. You're going to be doing it either with a Humvee. And I mean, we had these fucking DPVs that took fucking, you know, for every hour you drove them, and you're like wrenching on them for like 4 fucking hours. They were just a fucking
miserable
80s technology, fucking VW motors. I mean, just whatever could fucking happen to these things would. And dude, I just remember on the berm shooting a fucking Mark 19, and you know how they fucking jam. You got to take the fucking handles and rack it back and fucking. And dude, we're sitting there running the range, and this guy, he's like having an issue. Fucking thing wouldn't fucking fire, and he gets up and he fucking starts kicking the fuck out of this thing.
That'll help.
And we're like, what the fuck? And it has an AD. And we're like, God damn it, dude. And I mean, at the time, we're like, dude, that thing could have fucking spun around and
made a dumb decision.
And then there was another time where we're downloading 50, because what we do, we take the DPVs is what we're preparing to do, because when we hit this dam, we had a spare 50 cal machine gun, we had a spare Mark 19. We were going to set up in high elevated position to defend the fucking dam, because the dam was, well, it was a dam, but it's on the edge of this fucking reservoir, but then there was a higher location up top. So we were like, well, we need to take the fucking high ground, and we'll take one of the DPVs up there, and we'll set up a bipod, and we had sandbags and shit that we were going to fill up and sandbag a fucking fighting position. And this was all, you know, luckily, this is all shit that our platoon chief, fucking Crimmins, who would I mean, he's probably one of the smartest
tacticians,
guys that I know at that time, was because, I mean, he was at Team 4 for a long period of time and actually studied a lot of this stuff versus just, I mean, dude, I think I was, at the time, I'd probably been in like 10 years. And, you know, it's like drink, fight, fuck, oh, you know, knuckle dragging, mouth breathing, fucking frogman. And it's just, until you get into those levels of position, you realize, like, man, I really don't know shit about fucking warfighting. I know about getting from point A to point B. I know how to put a Drago together. I know how to skydive. I know how to fucking do some of this shit. But in the grand scheme of things, of actually being a fucking well-versed, like, tactician and understanding warfare, like, having somebody like that to mentor you, I was just like, holy fuck, this guy is a smart motherfucker, you know? So that was our deal. We were going to put this shit together. We had all this fucking extra ammo and fucking concertina wire and, I mean, all this fucking shit. We're like, hey, we're building a fucking fighting position, and this is how we're going to do it. So we'd take the DPVs out. We'd take them to the fucking dunes. We'd fucking set up the shit. We'd fucking dig pits. We'd put all our shit up. We'd, basically rehearse this ad nauseum. Shoot the fucking gun, get it dialed in, and then take it all apart, put it all back, and drive back. And at one point, we lent one of our 50s to one of the other platoons, and they're sitting there doing a dog and pony to somebody. And at some point, one of the dudes realized there was a fucking a bullet, a 50 cal round stuck in the fucking barrel of the 50.
Unfired, like ready
unfired.
to go?
Sounds like the guy that's going to get you killed.
This is the same guy that
This is the same guy. So apparently,
Oh no!
when we took the shit down, he just unscrewed the fucking barrel. The round was still in the chamber. He didn't
Holy
pull the fucking
shit.
link off and then rack the fucking
Right.
bolt and clear it. He just was like, "Oh, good to go."
This guy didn't
Pulled
go
the-
through the boot camp challenge, dude. I
Yeah.
tried to do. If
Yeah.
he had, we
So-
would have been better.
So this dude wound up. I think that was the straw that kind of broke the camel's back. They kind of put him in the
said-
penalty box.
Yeah.
I think he wound up making his way back to Baghdad, and then I think at another point was he did something else.
Jeez.
They're like, dude, fuck, man, this is like your third straw.
Yeah. Most of these guys usually have repeating patterns.
Yeah.
I just want to say this though. Back to the gray. I feel sympathy for him because it just
totally.
reminded me. So I thought I wanted to be a fireman. I'm like all in. I can be a fireman. And I was a reserve firefighter in Fountain Valley, right next to Huntington Beach. And the cool thing about their reserve program is a lot of reserve programs, if there's a rockin' fire, you don't get to go interior. But there, you do. So my first fire, it's like whatever.
It's like OCFA, right?
OCFA, but Fountain Valley's their own fire department.
Oh, okay.
It's small. It's only 2 stations. So alarm goes off. They're like, dude, it's a real one. And like, I'm in the back and like, I was like, oh, it's just like backdraft.
You get to drive
It's
the
just
ladder
like
truck.
backdraft. I'm like, oh my God. And the guy's like checking my equipment. I'm like, it's go time. It's go time. We pull the hoses and it's just this 2-story house that's ripping. And the captain's like, come on, John. And I'm like, coming. And then right as we were about to go in, I was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to go inspect the exterior and make sure. So they go in, and then, like, they're fighting the fire, and I'm standing outside. Like the guy that's supposed to be walking around is the chief or the battalion chief.
Yeah.
And, like, talking, and I end up realizing, like, fire's hot. It's scary. And then afterwards, they're like, we're firefighters. And I was like, yeah, but I think that's when they're like, this fucking guy. But I remember that moment.
Maybe I could be a
like,
fire
I don't think I really,
inspector.
maybe an inspector, maybe some insurance agent.
Arson
Dude,
investigator.
it was so, but it was the same thing. It was like, oh, I have to shoot human. That was the moment. And then I came up with some bullshit. I was like, I think my equipment, it was safety.
Well, I mean, you never.
didn't
I
do
don't
it.
think you ever really know until you're
No,
faced that
no,
moment.
no,
So
no.
I never got to go to war. I had 3 platoons, 1 before 9/11, 2 after. Chased the dragon, and it just didn't work out for whatever reason. And still pretty pissed about it. But it's like, dude, you play the hand you're dealt, man. You do what you can. But yeah, that's a question I never got to answer for myself. So
I mean, there are dudes that did that shit for 30 fucking years. I mean, there are team guys that legitimately came in like right after Vietnam.
Yes.
And got out in
But
2000.
think about
got
it. Like
out.
you're you're
Yeah.
West Coast, living in PB, living the dream. You're
Yeah.
working out.
Not to say
you're
they
like,
didn't have a great fucking
yeah,
career,
like
or
you're
great life.
chilling.
Oh
and
yeah,
you-
it's a great life.
Yeah, I
love
mean,
it.
guys, I have to piss so bad.
Perfect time for a break.
Can I piss? I'm sorry.
Wild shit, dude. All right, so on the break, John was talking about how we got banned from Kauai and some crazy pro surfing stories, but also we unwrapped a present from Jack Gladkey, who's one of our Black Site members on Patreon. Super active in there. He sent us a gift, which is, what is that, the 4 roses?
4 roses.
4 roses.
Small batch select.
Yeah, he said it's one of his personal favorites, so we're going to try this right meow.
Oh,
Except for you.
Oh.
Mine was there. I thought it was.
I think he stole
I think I
yours.
stole yours, bro.
Oh, okay. It's all
That
good.
is good. Oh, and he sent us some shirts for Red Baron Racing.
Dude, that is a fan.
pretty
what
dope,
an epic dude.
Yeah, well, he should definitely go through us for the next shirts he has made. But,
Yeah,
but these are
let's go,
pretty good.
Jack.
But
Did
dude,
he
that's
send
awesome.
a double X? Extra
did.
fat for me?
Well,
he really?
I don't know if it was double, but I saw XL on there.
Oh.
So hopefully they're gilding.
Yeah.
And then you'll fit into it. Not
Yeah.
next level.
Thank you,
As long
Jack.
as I don't flex.
This is really good.
Yeah.
I got to get a different.
Here, grab another glass. Or
Yeah,
do we
I'm
have
grabbing
any more?
Yeah, the
Don't
amount
run
of
another one.
gifts that we're getting here. I mean, the knives, the bottles, the coins.
Can I say why, guys? As a recent fan of the podcast, I just said this before we went on, but all the best stories that are never told, that's what I want to hear. And yes, you want to respect people, and you do sometimes have to take things out, but like the best shit nobody ever talks about. We should tell the best stories. That's the funnest stuff.
Yeah.
If it's not hurting somebody or screwing them
Sure.
over, like let's hear it.
Yeah, I don't think I've had this level of transparency and honesty ever. Than since talking on this podcast.
Yeah,
I mean, I
it's-
talked about how I got raped, and then they fucking talk shit on me for being
so
raped.
funny.
By a woman.
Humor helps you heal.
That
Remember.
was so hilarious.
Yeah.
So we posted that story, and so many chicks are like, they're all just laughing about it. I'm like, sorry for feeling feelings wrong.
Yeah.
Bro.
I will say it's different being raped as a dude versus a woman.
It
at
is
least,
different.
at least in my personal
It is-
opinion.
it is different.
I don't think that
That
there's
was in
anything.
prison, right?
Yeah, called U of A.
Like, I was used. I was used.
Yes.
I wanted.
Is that American?
That's a real thing,
Don't
though,
fuck with
man.
an 18-year-old.
That's a real thing. It is fucking different, dude. All these
Say
people
my
like,
name, bitch.
all these people are like, dude, when you're a kid and like, it's different when a teacher abuses a student or has sexual relations with a student. If it's a dude and a chick, dude, fucked
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
a hot
Killing.
teacher.
There
you're
are
like,
double
bro,
standards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
that
for
makes
sure.
sense, bro. It's
Yeah.
like, anyway.
Yeah.
I hate it when people are like, it's the same across the board. I'm like, no, it's not.
I will say, if I was raped in the butt, that story never would have came up.
Yeah, that's different. That's different.
But if I'm
Definitely.
being sat on by a fat,
What if
clammy
you got
bitch,
raped in the butt by a chick?
is she
Egged?
wearing a strap on?
Far
Just
out.
skin.
She was just like fingered my ass in the middle of the night and I woke up. Like, I would have qualms with it, but I'd still tell the story. but if it was like a
She's
fleshy
trying to get your
monster, I'm
G-spot.
out. Yeah.
Prolapse butthole.
If I fell asleep face down in Hillcrest, I'm out.
There
Oh
it
my
is.
God.
That's a big
Oh my
problem.
God.
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
too.
All right, so sidetrack. Anyway, back to John's story. We were
Well,
talking
we're
about
just
Cheers,
talking
guys.
about. Cheers,
Merry
everybody.
Christmas.
Cheers.
Thank you, Jack.
Cheers. Happy holidays.
Yeah,
cheers.
thanks,
cheers.
Jack.
Happy
Thank
New
you
Year.
guys for supporting the show.
So the weird world of social media. First off, I can't imagine. Thank God they didn't have cameras everywhere when I was in high school and young, because
Oh, yeah,
I would
any
do
of us.
anything for a laugh, and it would just be crazy. But the pressure, like people behind the keyboard, man, it's wild. And my whole thing, like how I kind of got some relevance, was in the surf world. I love surfing. That's like my first passion, and I'm a student of it. Like, I read every magazine, read every book, and I've been doing it now, 33 years. And so I would make fun of surfers, stereotypes, and then you hear things and stories, and then I would kind of, as a character, tell these stories, and people would go, wink, wink, I know what that is.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was telling these guys I got banished from Kauai for a year because surfing self-regulates. Let's be honest. The surf industry came about because it was a bunch of stoner guys, partiers that were like, oh shit, we could sell this lifestyle. We'll sell clothes. We'll do this. And then we can go on more surf trips.
Yeah.
And eventually, like in the 2000s, it exploded.
Yeah.
You have massive companies that buy up Hurley, that buy up Billabong, that end up buying up Volcom. And it's essentially dead now. But these guys all sold their companies for 40, 50 million. Nike bought Hurley. This, that, the other thing. And everyone's just trying to stay on that gravy train. Like, pro surfer. Sick. So I go to Kauai with my family, and I'm like the funny guy, whatever, joking. I'm not in the surf industry, but they're starting to like, do we trust
you're a
this
surfer.
Trust this guy?
Yeah.
Bring me in. I'm just a guy with a camera. So I'm feeling pretty cool because like Kelly Slater is like talking to me, and that's like a basketball fan talking to LeBron James or whatever, and you're going back and forth. And I'm kind of on one when we're in Kauai. Like I'm feeling pretty full of myself and pretty cool. And while we're in Kauai, they're telling me about this shop that this pro surfer owns with his wife. And these are locals that are telling me. And
How many years ago is this?
this is 2021.
Okay.
And they're like, really expensive.
A few years ago.
Yeah, they're like the T-shirts are like $250.
Holy
I'm like,
shit.
surely this can't be true. And there's all this stuff. So I'm like, bingo, like how my brain works. Like, let's go investigate.
Oh God.
So we're there, and I'm highly caffeinated. It's like that good Hawaiian coffee. I take my phone. I go into the store, and the pro surfer's wife, and the pro surfer is also a musician. He's a professional musician. And I go in, and she welcomes me into the store. And then she's like, oh, you know what? I forgot something in my car. I got to leave. And I'm in the store by myself. So I take my camera out, and I'm like, yeah, sure enough. $200 T-shirts. And I'm like filming everything real quick. And then I make this video outside that's like me pretending to be like, I came to Kauai because I'm such a big fan of this guy. I celebrate his entire catalog of music. And then I get here and I can't even afford a T-shirt, whatever. And I show the actual thing. So I send it. This is what I always do. You don't think. You just send it in the moment out into the World Wide Web, on the web. And instantly, I'm getting like, you're gonna get licks, brah. You're gonna get pounded.
Yeah.
We're gonna find you.
Kauai's a
you
different
and
island.
you and your family. And I'm like, oh shit. And then my phone starts ringing, and I'm like, oh my.
You got to get out of town, bro.
Oh my God. And it turned into a whole thing. And at this point, we were ready to like already leave. So I get on a plane and we're leaving, like, because I knew enough. I'm not that dumb. I'm like, when I post this, we need to be on the plane. But there's no Wi-Fi on the plane, so I can't see. I land, and this thing is blown up.
That's smart
And
to
there's
leave
like,
before you post it,
there's
though,
like
man.
1,200 comments of like,
Holy fuck, bro.
this guy's kids, they take some of my way, yeah, blah, blah. And it's going back and forth. And then bunch of missed calls from like heavy hitter. Yeah, we're looking for you, this and that. So anyways,
Oh, shit.
one number just keeps calling. I'm not answering. Finally, I'm like, all right, take your medicine.
Hello?
Yeah. And it is the guy, it is the surfer who owns it. And he is like, just read me the riot act. And he's like, I don't know who you are, who the fuck you think you are, but here's what you need to
But
do.
I have a specific
Yeah.
set of skills.
I can play
I
my
will
guitar.
find you.
What? So he says he wants me to get on the plane, fly back to Kauai, and make things right. And I'm like,
Or buy a T-shirt?
That's not happening. Like, you want me to come back and da-da-da-da-da.
Get my ass kicked?
Yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah, so that was the first time that I like got like pressure to take something down, and I did, dude. And it really bothered me. And I'm the type of person that'll like hold on to stuff. So I was like, let's play the long game here. So I waited 3 years, and then I re-released it.
Just archive it for 3 years. You don't delete, archive.
I re-released it in
On the 36th month anniversary.
2024, and within 30 seconds of probably a little longer than that, what happens? Phone.
It's the same guy.
Okay, and I
What you
answer
doing,
it.
bro?
and yeah, and that's exactly what it was. Like, hey, what you doing? You posting something? And I'm like, look, don't tell me what to do. And I hung up and I blocked his number, and then it just turned into more like all kinds of shit, threats, all sorts of stuff.
So are you nervous about going back to Kauai still?
I'm never going back to Kauai. I'm 0-3 in street fights. We've discussed this. I'm like a possum. I just have to fucking play dead.
Dude,
But-
Truscan's from Kauai, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
Keikoa.
Keikoa.
There's some tough dudes.
Yeah,
from Hawaii, too.
they'll scrap. That's
No,
that's what they do.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
what they do.
And you got the island against you too, especially in
Yeah.
the Howley.
For
Yeah.
being the temperature difference, there's surprisingly a lot of team guys from Hawaii. Like,
Really?
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably more than most other states, I would think.
Yeah, it's
And the Wolf brothers.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hawaii's
Brandon
gnarly.
and what's his brother's name?
We sponsored Brandon for the UFC with Forged. I don't remember. I forget what his brother's name is, but they're both like super solid dudes.
Yeah.
Great fighters too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No thanks. So out of that, I've heard rumors about the kind of like underlying like early days where, I mean, honestly, his skating wasn't much different, right? Because I grew up skating
Yeah.
pretty much my whole life. And was going on tour in a van and doing demos and like all these things. But what I wasn't afforded the opportunity of, and what didn't really exist in the skate world, was kind of like houses that companies or sponsors would put you up
team
in.
houses.
Yeah, team houses. And so now you're taking like 14-year-olds to like 34-year-olds and putting them all together with more money than they've ever fucking made. And what ensues out of that kind of lifestyle?
This doesn't happen in any other industry, but the North Shore of Hawaii on Oahu is Mecca, right? So everybody's got to go there to pay their dues. And back in the day, it was photos and videos. That's all we had. We didn't have the internet. Now it's making YouTube videos, this and that. The landscape's changed.
TikTok.
But if you don't know, if you've never heard of Dahui, it's a real thing. They call them the black shorts. So this is basically surf mafia, right? These are locals that run the lineups. So when these companies, these huge surf companies come over there, they're hiring locals to run water patrol. They're hiring locals to do security. They're hiring locals to do everything. And like nothing happens on that island without someone knowing. It's the coconut wire, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're going to think you're calling the cops for something. You got beat up by a guy. The cop's going to show up. It's going to be his cousin.
Yeah,
it's gonna
for
be
sure.
like, if they show up. So one of the classics.
And you get robbed.
Dude. Yeah. So basically, it's like it is the Wild West, even still to this day. And the huge underlying theme is always respect. Like you show respect when you come to these places. But one of the stories that's kind of classic is Billabong, which is massive, even bigger at the time than it is now. The CEO of Billabong they have these team houses that are right at Pipeline, which is like center stage. They're running some event, probably Pipeline Pro or something. And Billabong had decided not to sponsor like one of the heavies kids surfing from what I've been told. And there were probably some other issues that were going along with that. They weren't basically treating the locals the way they should. So he walked into the team house, this dude, and grabbed the CEO, slapped him up in front of everybody, said, "This is what you're going to do," and then walked out, and then they did that. And there's no lawsuit, and that's really how Hawaii is. It's kind of like we're going to go behind the shed. And that
go behind the Connex box
because
and
nothing
talk
is
it out.
happening in Hawaii without the support of the local people.
See, that's why I'm a big believer in being able to fucking fight.
It's pretty good. It's actually not. It's a good way to do things. In fact, I'll even say this: like that story I just told about Kauai, like it was to the point where I was like, "Am I gonna get a call from a lawyer?" Like that sort of thing. And then it was like, "No, but isn't this great?" Like, and I was told to call like 5 people, and I was like. They were threatening, leaving all, and they were like, "John, shut up. Don't be a pussy. Call them." And then I'd call them, and it would just be a guy who would be like, "I heard you hurt my friend. You made his wife cry. You fucked with their business." And I'd be like, "I'm sorry." And he'd be like, "Have you made it right with her?" And I'd go, "Yeah." And he'd go, "We are finished." And that would be, it was like 5 phone calls. And I was like, "What is this?" But it is nice. And you don't, I didn't.
I mean, it is one of those things. You're like, okay,
old school.
We're done fighting. I either got my ass kicked or I kicked the dude's ass, but now it's finished. The beef is squashed.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't have to sit and stress over it.
It's kind of like mafia, but with coconuts instead of olive oil.
But my whole thing was always like, when you're doing something, you're like, do you realize the intent was to be funny?
Yeah.
Like to laugh at yourself, but then you realize a lot of people cannot laugh at themselves. They are not stoked, and they do not want to look like a fool. And like when you tell the truth wins every time. It's funny every time.
Well, those people are not known for their sense of humor.
No, but that's funny. That always makes me laugh. But then you realize it's not worth the trouble.
Yeah, and context matters too. Like your type of humor, like you got to understand. Like your type of humor is not. It's not meant to be taken seriously.
No.
It's like it's just a comedic play.
And you're not doing it maliciously either.
Right.
It's like you're playing a fucking role.
No.
You're like, "Oh my God, I came here to blah 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 blah. And this is what happened." It's like it's a character.
That's it.
Yeah.
But
short of writing a screenplay and filming it.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit.
It's an improv.
It's a bit. That's what I always
exactly.
said. But like when you say a sense of humor, It really is a sense. And some people are not born with that. Like, and they're never going to have it.
Yeah.
Like, they're just...
Yeah, some people take life very seriously.
And then you're doing all this stuff online, and you're having a great time. You're doing it, but, man, like, it gets weird. But
It does.
You finally just sort of go... All right, this is fun, and you cannot read that shit. That post and ghost thing, that is the best approach.
Yeah,
because
it is.
there are people that are just like, you're ugly, you're bald, you're fucking blah.
Like our comments.
Yeah,
I love fuck with those
and
people.
you're just
dude.
like, same. You get into it, but it
Yeah.
never goes anywhere good.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
I disagree. I have a great time with it.
I just
I have such a good time.
Yeah.
And I come up with some zingers, and then I fucking block them.
And then you
done, son.
and then you ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't read any of the comments, man. I'm just like whatever.
Well, when I'm in these like
They got to
battle
put-
wars, these comment wars, I never post it because that person, they're never going to change their mind. Cool.
No.
So I don't post it. That's my bit. I don't post it for them. I post it as entertainment for everybody else reading it.
Yes.
Just to be it's funny. You
Yeah,
know, 'cause
try
I'm never
to-
going to change that person's mind.
Take like the communal like,
so,
pitchfork.
Right. So I don't even try to counter any of their arguments. All I do is bully the fuck out of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And because they're trying to bully us, I'm like, okay.
Thank God we have you on the team.
Oh, I love it, man.
Because one of the and
have a
so
good
there's
time with
another
it.
tactic to utilize this, and the funniest thing is John came up with this bit. I don't know how long ago it was. I was scrolling through your gram last night, getting ready for the podcast this morning, and I remember when, dude, you started talking shit on everybody who has Sprinter vans, you know,
Yeah.
like the Benzos, and at that time I was working for Agile Off Road as a marketing director. And you know, had enough of a presence and influence, and I'm looking how to spice this up because the large demographic of Sprinter van owners
Sprinter van mafia. They
are
came after you.
60-year-old fucking retired rich people. During COVID, it was the van lifers that wanted to kind of get the fuck out, and then the rest are in North County. And so I really wanted to bring you on and hire you to create content,
would've been so
essentially
happy.
kind of like being self-deprecating towards like the community,
Yeah.
as kind of like some like slapstick humor, kind of like what, not really particularly what like Wendy's was doing on Twitter back in the day, but along those lines, and trying to utilize like self-deprecation as a marketing tactic to kind of just maybe make light or
My
make
air
fun of
fryer
yourself.
went out on my fucking
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
my number 2 air fryer went out on my fucking Sprinter
Yeah, my
van.
water-
Day of my life.
My water pump didn't work to
Yeah.
clean the sand
He's
off
out
me.
camping, uses his driveway.
Yeah.
Dude, you just like, how could you not have fun with it? Like, I have like different sagas that are completely fake that people think are real. One of them is that like me and my wife are getting divorced.
Oh, I
so
saw that,
like
and I was
I
like,
do
wait,
that
what?
constantly, and like it's gotten to the point where like again, Mom will be like, "Is this real?" I'm like, Mom, we've been married 17 years. Like, you know who we have all this stuff, and it's all fake. I'm like, why would you? And then sometimes you sprinkle some real stuff in there, but then recently, I was bored with everything.
My mother's taking her side.
Recently, I was like, let's see what this politic thing is all about. And that is like open the can of
Oh, dude.
insanity.
Oh, yeah.
Wild.
How many followers did you lose?
So I lost around 20,000
Jesus,
in
dude.
30 days. But then, guess what? You get 20,000 new ones that are like, we like what you're saying.
Yeah.
But the comments are where it's at. You create something and you have like 1,200 comments. And I'm like, it just makes you go, man, we all need to get off our phones because
Yeah.
people are just locked into that. And, but it's fun, man. And some people would be like, oh, you're engagement farming. You're there. I'm like, no, dude, it's my shit. I can do whatever I want with it. But
Yeah,
people,
just have a good time.
Literally, if you're, like I said at the beginning, if you're like in an influencer space, dude, the second you come out on one side, but this was my thing. You can say all the lefty crazy shit you want. Everyone's like, thumbs up. Keep
Yeah.
working for us. You can
Yeah.
say, what do you want to talk about? Transing the kids? That's awesome. Great. We love this. Da, 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 da. The second you're like, yeah,
Trump's doing great.
yeah,
You're like,
no, I mean,
What?
You fuck.
as simple as this, like, yeah, I knew Hillary Clinton was a bitch since I was 12 years old. There's no way I could never, ever vote for her. So I voted for the other
You
candidate.
misogynist.
Also, I do happen to be a Republican. And, yeah, I didn't really like Biden. Couldn't vote for him. And Kamala, Just that is like,
The death sentence.
you're a Nazi.
Oh,
you're
totally.
you're a, and you're like, okay, well, thanks for saying that. I'm going to double and triple down.
Yeah.
We're just going to keep this going.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, it constantly blows my mind how many people are just unwilling to think for themselves.
Sad.
They're just waiting around. They're literally like living NPCs. They're waiting to be told what to be upset about,
Well, it's that
what to
fucking
be happy
echo
about.
chamber too. You know,
NPC,
It's like,
for those that don't know, is multi-purpose canine.
No, NPC, non-player character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they're basically a non-player character in a. I used to think it was kind of a joke, right? We're like, oh, you just don't matter. You're just fucking like. There's two ways to take it. Like one is literal, where like, and this is a philosophy where we're all the main character of our own life, right? And then we all have these background players that just kind of like, you know, make McDonald's or do whatever the fucking mow the grass, whatever. The other way to look at it, which I think now is maybe. I'm leaning towards this theory, is that they're real people. It's just that they might as well be NPCs because they don't have the capacity or the willpower to think for themselves. So they're just at the whim of whatever programming is going on in the media
tide.
or their circle of the time, right? And they just kind of echo and flow with whatever because they don't stand for anything. They can't articulate a point beyond the talking points they've been told. And they just fucking, like, they're not even real people. I mean, they are real people, but for all intents and purposes, like, they're not living a real life. They're just echoing whatever organic programming they're being told to be upset about, to be happy about, to pursue, to not pursue. It's fucking
And
crazy.
emotional.
Yeah.
People respond to emotions. But I'm telling you, dude, as a person that for the last 7 years, when I look at this amount of screen time, like on average, it's no bueno. Like you look at your average screen time, I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
9 hours? That's like my average. You're doing this. Of course, this is going to affect my brain.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at all this stuff. I mean, I can't imagine. Like, you have to step away from it, and you have to go touch grass and be like, and get back to it because I can, like you said, if you're not a person with somewhat of a strong disposition, and let's be honest, a lot of people out there don't maybe exactly have the highest IQs, you're going to be susceptible to that stuff, like, and just swayed whichever way the political winds blow.
Yeah, I mean, the algorithm's so good. Like, I think you have to intentionally pull yourself out of it and be like, am I really upset about this? Number one, AI, did this really even fucking happen? You know
Yeah,
what I
I
mean?
know, right?
Shit, dude.
And two, like, even if it did, am I really upset about it, or am I just falling into the framing of what this thing is wanting me to
And if
feel
it's not
about this
fucking
thing?
AI, maybe it's just a fucking like a skit that's clickbait.
Yeah.
You see so many of those, they're like, dude, there's no way this is fucking
It's
real.
so bad.
Something that's
So
videoed
bad.
on a public bus or whatever. There's no way that either one, this dude's not getting just stomped the fuck out by 10 different people or some random shit. But you
Yeah.
see shit all the time and you're like, dude, that is so fucking staged.
Yeah. Or the third part of that is like, how does this affect my life? Do I really need to care about this?
That's the biggest one too, and that was a big one for me. Like I think I was telling you guys before, like when I did that Spike Lee movie in Thailand, and I was away from social media and all like news in general, and maybe something to be said with being in a place like that as well. That's very not forgiving, but dude, in Thailand, dude, everybody's Buddhist and everybody's just kind of like, just be a good person.
A lot more
Like,
mellower.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's just kind of like, it made me second guess a lot of the shit that I used to fucking comment on shit, and like, it made me take a step back and go, dude, is this really, like, how much is my life fucking changing? Like, no matter who the fuck is president,
Yeah.
no matter who the fuck's the mayor, no matter who the fuck is city council, I mean, really, is my fucking life changing that much? Not
yeah.
really. I mean, maybe a little bit of ebb and flow, and it's something I can bitch about. Hey, there's potholes in the fucking road, or our schools fucking suck. Is that shit gonna get changed in 2 years when there's a new city council member or a new mayor or a new president or a new governor? No.
Yeah.
It's just not fucking, it doesn't
not
fucking
worth the
matter.
time,
And it
dude.
really, it erodes your fucking well-being to sit and dwell on bullshit that you have no control over.
I never comment on other people's shit unless something good or positive, like a friend's doing something. Like I'll comment something positive.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the last time I ever commented something publicly negative on somebody else's page or whatever
good.
for any reason. You
Yeah.
know? And that's why I feel vindicated when people come on our page and start commenting negative. I'm like, ooh, here's my fucking chance, bro. Let's go.
You started this.
Exactly.
No,
Don't
I
start
think
shit, but
one
yeah.
of the biggest detriments, and we can get off the political course after this, of
I don't want to get off of it. I want to double down. Trump.
well, it's actually as I'm wearing a MAGA hat.
Is that a MAGA hat?
Yeah.
Civil
it is,
War
no
is
shit.
coming.
The biggest detriment of Republicans is the Democrats are loud and they always let their voice be heard and they always interject themselves in the comments or DMs or whatever, and Republicans don't. And a large part is because we're fucking more mature and we can read a room. We have jobs to go to,
shit to
so
do.
we can't fucking live on this shit. And after the whole Charlie Kirk thing, I literally just kind of like vowed like never to just shut the fuck up and like listen to things anymore. And that doesn't mean that now I'm just like active in the comments. And one of the things that kind of exemplifies this is there was a former friend of my wife and I's. She's a cop and also a right cop. But her dad just decided to DM me out of the blue because I posted something about Trump giving out $1,776 to, you know, a bunch of veterans, or actually all the service members,
Yeah.
not veterans, which payment went through. And so
Did
he
they get
immediately
that?
just started. Yeah, they all got it like a week and a half ago.
Straight to the strip club.
The dancing ladies.
Dude, I would go in there wearing a white like wig, like George Washington. like the whole platoon should have just gone into Pacers.
I need $776 in ones, please.
But you speak like old English.
yeah.
But like, what
Fourscore and
fucking
seven
gives
whores
you the
ago.
balls to
Yeah.
like just like comment on this and not expect like a repercussion?
Yeah.
And I'm one of the people that.
Wait, what did he say though?
Dude, it was just like a rant against Trump. Oh no, actually, the
How
post.
could you be against the troops getting an extra $1,700?
The post was about JD Vance working out with the team guys in Coronado. And I was like, when was the last time you've seen a vice president work out with service members that he sends to go die for our country?
Yeah, what's his problem with that?
I'm trying to figure out still.
That seems like an odd thing to be against.
Due to my good articulate tact, I talked this geologist into a fucking wormhole that he can't really back himself out of right now because I speak on behalf of knowledge of service member or being a service member. And I'm like, no, this is why this is correct. Like, do we not want more politicians to have a better relationship with the Department of War?
Yeah.
And it's just I'm frustrated by it. And Democrats feel like they can fucking say whatever the fuck they want, and they can't. And like right now, it just kind of now
can.
they need
You
to
just
start
don't
getting
have to
smacked
care.
in the face more often.
Yes, that's the thing. It's two things. It's face to face. It's the best form of communication. This is the worst form of communication that's ever existed. And we need literally like a country like barbecue cookout where we all kind of come together. And
With
what's
weed
the
and
only
shrooms.
what's the only thing that ever brings us together? A shared enemy. A
Yeah.
common enemy.
Yeah.
Like, and tomorrow,
9/11.
yeah, exactly. Tomorrow, if shit hit the fan, we'd be like, "You're an American too." Blah, like join hands. Like, let's do. We'd be together. My whole thing is like, the most American thing you can do is express your opinion and your freedom of speech.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's all I'm doing. That's all you're doing. And I love anybody because you're a human being. You're a fellow American. You know what I mean? But like, let's have a shared conversation.
It's the First Amendment.
Yes.
It's the cornerstone of
like
everything.
that's the best part of it. And so when someone tries to tell you to be quiet or you fear like so many people do, the silent majority, like, no.
Yeah.
You can say talk, express yourself. That's
Yeah.
what we do, dude. It's okay. You know, and if tomorrow shit hit the fan, like we'd all be like, "Oh, let's put this behind us." And we're going to come together.
That's when the aliens invade.
Exactly. And the gray will be there. He will be there.
Dude, I'm terrified.
Lean
Leading
back
the
up,
way. He's
dude.
like, I remember you.
Look what I learned in
Thank
SQT.
you for your kindness, the way you talked to me as I
Here's
departed.
another thing. Have you guys seen Steven Spielberg's like new movie?
Yes.
With the aliens coming
No,
out.
what's this one?
Oh my god! It's
he's
called
back.
it's called
Spielberg's back.
Disclosed, and it's fucking like one of the gnarliest trailers I've ever seen.
Really?
And keep in
It's
mind,
really good.
Spielberg has had his hands in alien movies, you know, since
It's
Close
a
Encounters
Spielberg
of-
movie?
Encounters,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he was, and I've watched enough, like, kind of background on it. He was heavily influenced in the writing of all this. And after the
Maybe
Disclosure
he's one of those
Project
lizard
documentary
people.
came out, no, but I think that this motherfucker is in on it and is now kind of slowly starting to like normalize
The lizard people.
a disclosure. At least I hope
Isn't
so.
this a third movie that's come out or documentary with Disclosure in the title?
Well, so there was the Disclosure
had one.
Project, and then this one, or it was called Undisclosed, but Spielberg's is called Disclosed. And like, dude, the trailer is so good, and I cannot wait. So June 16th. But either way, the conspiracy theory is that Spielberg's in on it, and he's trying to kind of set the tone for, because in my personal opinion, I think when Trump gets out of office, he's going to be like,
Oh, and by the way,
all right, it was great. Check this out. And he's going to pull up your little bud student.
I will say, dude, yeah, look at him. Look, it's the gray.
I have learned about the humans, including the American military.
I do think it's rather fucking odd that his first term, he immediately goes, "We need a space force."
Yep.
That was
I was like,
Yeah. What did this
thing ever.
motherfucker
Wait,
learn?
what?
He's like,
Yeah, seriously,
Space
right?
Force. You're like,
thought it was a joke at first.
yeah.
You know
You're
what's
like,
even
of all
crazier?
this shit.
The police department in Imperial Beach, they have 3 flags. It's an American flag, an LGBT flag, and then a fucking Space Force flag.
What?
Right next to NSW. And it's like on the fucking Imperial
Why
Beach
of all things a
IB
fucking
Sheriff's
space
Department.
flag?
I don't know. That's why I drove by it the other day. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, break.
Damn. Maybe my former SQT student's working there, dude.
Yeah.
Just yelling people with the finger.
Wait, do you guys? This dawned on me. I'm late to the party, but I thought about it. Astronauts, like, I always like, what are they doing up there? They're full military dudes that are doing, they're gooning as it floats through the air after they goon. Whoa, but they're up there working on military shit, satellites. I always thought of astronauts as just like these nice space guys, but they're up there doing war shit. Right? Am I wrong?
I think they do experiments a lot of times, but I would imagine a lot of it probably has to do with war. Yeah.
Right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. What are
Fucking
those
I don't
guys?
know what they do.
Games.
We gotta join Space Force.
I know. I
Sounds
got
like
a buddy
a lot
that
of
transferred
work.
over.
Dude, they would take you at Space Force tomorrow, dude. Even with the
Shit.
knee, bro.
No.
Yeah, they're taking you.
Yeah, you
You
float,
get a
dude.
sweet ass uniform, Space Force.
I think they go by.
Sweet ass
I think they go by pound. It's too expensive to get.
Yeah.
Now when you have 0 gravity, dude, you're good to go.
It's not that. It's
It's
getting
just
it up
getting me
there.
off the ground. They're like,
They're putting a little more fuel in the gas tank.
Let's top this bitch off.
get Elon on the line. We gotta get a consult on.
They're like pushing it up.
We need a Falcon 10.
You know, your words are hurtful.
Yeah, don't be hurt.
Sorry.
Treat him like a bud student that just had his heart broken and has to leave, dude. Talk nice to him.
Ha, fag!
Do you guys, like, when they're in the hot shower, do you go, was that shower worth it? Does that feel good? You got a hot shower?
After they quit?
Yeah, all
No,
your
you
dreams.
never fuck with them
No,
after they
see?
quit.
There you go.
You're just like completely
So
like you
gentle
just stop
guys.
talking to them after that. After they
No,
ring the
because
bell.
they're
Yeah.
regular. They made a decision.
Yeah, they're up.
Yeah.
Because you're not training them anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's no point in wasting.
yeah,
energy
the
on
regular
that.
Navy guys. Like, dude, I hope you have much success on your next journey.
Dude, one more question, though.
Plus,
I
you
have
don't
to
want them
ask.
to kill themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that too.
yes. Did you guys ever see anybody when you were instructors that the sleep deprivation made them do like something batshit crazy?
Like you.
Like act out? Yeah, just curious. Just asking for a friend.
Hauig's so regimented. They do some weird shit, but it's mainly just like getting pissed at each other. But you can't really fuck with them after Wednesday because you can't really hold them accountable
Yeah.
for
Because
what
they're
they
gone.
do because
Yeah.
they're basically clinically insane.
Yeah.
So you can't really do anything. I mean, granted, they still have to meet the protocols and do the stuff and
Yeah.
whatever. But motherfuckers are hitting dudes with paddles and fucking like rolling around, like seeing literally
yeah.
hallucinating
Yeah,
shit all the
hallucinating.
time.
So
Same
that's
shit.
across the board. Like that's just a human being.
Everybody has that
Okay.
experience,
Yeah.
but it's
All right.
part of the thing. So it's kind of like expected, and that's why you don't really give them too much shit. But they
Do you keep them away from the water when they're in that state?
No, you put
No.
them in the water.
You put them
Yeah.
in the water.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's a nice little wake up, right?
Oh yeah.
I have this funny. When I was in Hell Week, doing Around the World, which is on Thursday, so you're basically far into it. They're just trying to keep you awake until Friday when
Yeah.
you're done. And Around the World is where you take these little IBSs, which are like twice the size of this couch here, and there's no motor on it. It's you and like 5 other dudes, and you're just rowing these motherfuckers. So you row them from South Coronado, almost IB,
Yeah.
up around North Island and all the way back down. So
It's like down by like Fiddler's Cove, where
Yeah.
the fucking like by Lowe's, Coronado, literally.
Yeah,
Put in right there.
These little paddles.
paddle.
Like it takes a long ass time.
Takes all night.
Yeah, and so I remember
Not to
we're out
mention
there.
dudes are paddling like this.
So I've got a funny story. There was
Dropping
this guy.
paddles and shit in the water.
I don't want to say the guy's name. He didn't end up making. He's not a bad guy. He's just like not cut out to be a good team guy. He used to cry during log PT and everything. he was the officer in charge of our boat crew.
I think that's awesome.
And he was kind of like
let it out.
a weenie.
Let it out.
Dude, no, he was bad. Nice dude, but just not a good.
He's getting the same
Just
guy.
weeping.
And so he was in charge of our boat crew, and the way that the boat crews are set up, you've got
You say get in the sand
I
out
think
of
it's
his eyes.
seven dudes in this one. So we've got 3 guys on the left, 3 guys on the right, and the guy in the back, the officer, has rudder in the water, and he's basically steering the boat. So we just got on the water, and we're going up north to go around, and you're supposed to be roughly like 50 yards off the shore, like just outside the surf zone. And we noticed the boat keeps trying to fucking go left out into the middle of the fucking ocean. We're like, bro, what are you doing? Like, he's like, oh, don't worry about it. And he'll put it back straight, and he'll keep steering us out there. And I'm like, what are you doing? And so he finally was like, hey, well, I think that's our OIC's boat out there, and we got to go meet him out there. And we look out there, it's a fucking cruise liner. It's like 8 miles out,
my
all lit up.
Like, looks like the head shed.
It's a cruise liner, and he thinks it's like our lieutenant's boat. And we're like, sir, no, what the fuck? So he kept doing it. So we had to take his paddle away and make him sit in the fucking bottom of the boat while we fucking paddled this whole way. Another funny story, the same fucking dude, he ended up making through Hell Week and getting dropped later. But we're getting secured in Hell Week. We just got done with the demo pitch, like this big explosion thing. So we're all essentially done. We're just waiting for like some ambu to wait to follow us back to camp or whatever. And so we're sitting out there, and we're something low key where nobody's in pain and we're not getting fucked with. Like, this is a rare like moment in Hell Week where we're not getting fucked with. And so he's like, instructor so-and-so, I have to use the bathroom. So the guy's like, oh, you go to use the bathroom, huh? So he's like, all right, everybody link arms. We're like, you motherfucker.
Oh, no.
So everybody has to link arms. And it's a whole
no.
class. I think we graduated that Hell Week with like 55 dudes, which is a big class. So all of us are in the ocean, march out in the fucking surf zone, like waist deep. It's like, all right, turn around. So we turn around. All right, link arms. Now take seats. And we're all sitting in the surf zone, getting fucking waves crashing over the back of us, linked arms. And they're like, all right, Mr. So-and-so, go break off and go do your business. And we're like, what the fuck? So this dude.
He's like, I already did.
Worse. So he goes back out there, and he has to take a shit. So he takes a shit, but he doesn't go fucking far enough back. So he takes a shit, and everybody's out there, and this turd starts floating over people's shoulders.
floating turds.
We're like, what the fuck? Like, God damn it. And so the instructor's like, Mr. So-and-so, grab your turd and get rid of it. So he had to reach over and grab his turd and throw it out into the ocean.
Christ,
And we're like, dude, just
That's what I wanted
God
to hear.
damn.
That's the good stuff right there.
Just go in the corner and drop trowel and shit in the sand or something. God,
We had one of our O's do that shit during dive second phase, and he fucking basically blacked out underwater, shallow
Shit
water
himself.
blackout,
Oh,
and
shit.
he fucking shit himself.
Yeah.
And he came to, and there was like shit floating around, and they
Just in the pool?
in the pool. They gave him a Ziploc. They're like, collect all your shit in a Ziploc, and he had to carry that shit around with him. Just carry around just little floaters, with like
goldfish in
one like solid turd with like a bunch of floaters.
It's like fish food.
Yeah,
Coming out of PetSmart.
we're like, what the fuck, dude?
Oh, jeez.
Dude, that sleep deprivation is no joke. When I was going through RSLIC, which is like the Army's like recon school, and we were up for 3 or 4 days at this point, and we would have to switch off on our guard, and we were like on night vision and like looking out at this area, waiting for Op 4 to like come up and do our reporting and everything. But like I would get woken up and I was just so fucking delusional. I would think that my shift of like an hour had gone by, but it wasn't, because I couldn't tell time. And I would just like poke my buddy. I'm like, hey, it's your turn. But he's so fucking tired. He's like, all right, fine. And so then I would go to sleep for like another 45 minutes, dude, just pure blue falcon. And he's like, finally, it took like 2 of these rotations where I'm pulling like 10 minutes a guard and he's pulling like the full hour. And
Hey,
he's
you're
like,
up.
dude, your time is fuck no, dude. He's like, leave me the fuck alone. So I'm standing there. It's like cold as fuck. And I'm like looking through my night vision. I'm just like looking through this loophole. And next thing I know, dude, I'm like just like going down like a tree, but my hands were in my pockets and they didn't come out. And these fucking knots just go like straight into my fucking eye sockets, dude. And so I ended up kind of becoming a legend in our Slick. Well, not a legend for those of my boys hearing, but we were attacked by a bear. And chased by one, and I'm shooting blanks at it, like trying to run by this thing because it was a mama bear with their cubs. And then I didn't know what.
Where was this at?
Colorado, yeah. They're doing an MTT because they don't. We were getting ready to deploy, and they didn't want to take us out of elevation and like back down to Georgia, and they wanted to keep us acclimated. And then I didn't know what poison ivy looked like, so I poison ivied my ghillie suit in this whole thing. And so there's that. And then now I'm the one that comes back from like the final FTX, and I just have like two massive like black eyes and like rings, like it looked like pure proper like 50 cal scope bite on both my eyes. And they're like, "What the fuck, Bets? Like it's always you." I'm like, "Sorry, I fell asleep standing up."
It was the bear.
Yep.
That just reminded me. This is
I got teabagged by a bear. He gave me the Arabian goggles.
That's what I should have told them.
I was just gonna, dude.
What were you gonna say?
Mom keeps coming up in my head. I told my mom this like 2 years ago. When I was like 9 years old, I was obsessed with Magnum PI. No, probably 7. Favorite show ever.
Yeah.
This is the shit.
Still
Good
is.
show. Tom Selleck. That's probably why I have the mustache.
Still is one of my favorite shows.
I found a bunch of poison oak, like in like a goalie by my house, and I rubbed it all over my body intentionally so that I could stay home from school and watch Magnum PI and A-Team. And I got like 4 days, dude.
That's
Just
pretty
Doritos and hot dogs with mom.
I don't
And
know that it's worth it.
It was worth it. It was worth it. Oh, dude, it was bad. And they're like, "You really got into it." I'm like, "I know." Sure did.
It's covered in fucking calamine lotion.
Yeah, exactly. So dumb.
Shit almost got me kicked out. I had to get steroid shots and everything. Like, dude, I was scratching my legs with like
dude.
forks.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff's no joke.
That's one of the worst feelings, I think, is fucking when you're either bitten by mosquitoes or fucking clawing your fucking legs off from like poison ivy or poison oak. It's just
Or sitting on a cactus with a 115-pound rucksack in the middle of the night, and you don't wear underwear.
Yeah.
Not like
Ooh.
underwear would have fucking helped.
yeah.
I think hearing your stories, I think getting kicked out of boot camp was a good thing.
Yeah.
I think it's all right. Yeah.
You know?
I think it's okay. Who knows what would have happened?
Dude, my swim buddy in Buds, he had a similar story to that because we both went to boot camp in Orlando and there were chicks down there at the time.
Yes.
And that was the only boot camp where there were females at the time because there used to be 3 boot camps. And he basically got rolled up having sex with one of the female fucking boot camp chicks. And they basically were like, you can either basically get a, what was it you got?
Entry level separation.
Yeah, you can basically separate from the military. Or you can go back. He had to go back through
He had to start
day
over.
1.
Wow.
So he went through boot camp
Boot camp
twice.
sucked, bro.
He's like, this fucking sucks.
I think if they
bro.
would have let people quit in boot camp, the attrition rate would probably be the same as Bud's.
Yeah, true.
Well, dude, the
Yeah.
fucked up thing about that too is the chick didn't get anything. He's like, what about her? You're like, no, you took
What?
advantage of her. You're like,
Yeah,
What
that's
the
how that
fuck,
worked for
man?
a while.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not fair.
yeah.
You guys want to take a quick break?
Yeah, so
Throw that shit.
Back in.
What was that? Acid?
Holding out?
We got tab going right now. No, I was just telling you guys. So, yeah, I told you the Navy story. That happened. Do the cop thing, then just become kind of a degenerate. And I firmly believe that a lot of young men were lost. That transition from high school to what is a man and becoming a man is difficult for a lot of people. The military, obviously, that's why a lot of people join. They're looking for something, for that step to give them discipline.
Great option for that, yeah.
It's a great option.
Yeah.
And so I'm just hanging out with my dumbass buddies, but like deep down and inside my soul, I'm like, adulthood is coming,
really gay.
whether you like it or it's so lame. So lame.
If I could just meet a man.
Mom, would you pay off my credit card? Like calling just a child. So I start reading about something that people do in Australia, Aborigines. They go on something called walkabout. Have you heard about walkabout?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so they basically just like a coming of age ritual. They head out into the outback and, they take like a small rucksack and some water, and they live off the land, and eventually they enter the spirit world like you were talking about. So I decide I'm going to do my version of that, except in beautiful South Orange County. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Yeah. And I started,
This could be fun.
It's pretty wild.
I believe Jules Winfield said it best. No.
So I've been reading a lot about fasting. And again, so stupid. Like anytime something's ever gone wrong with me, it's a lack of sleep, you haven't been fed, or there's something on board your system, alcohol or drugs.
Steroid-induced psychosis.
Steroid-induced psychosis. So, but I think this is the way to find myself. So I start fasting, and I'm living with like 3 chuckleheads in my parents' house. They've moved to Sacramento. We're paying rent. And like
your parents have moved to Sacramento.
Parents have moved, and they think it's a good idea to allow their son and his friends, we're all 25, to live together. And we turn it into like a frat house. And yeah, one of the guys living there is slanging weed, and like it's whatever. But we're having a great time.
Sounded like a good idea at the time.
Good idea. Yeah, they trusted their kid.
Sounds like a good idea now, bro.
Honestly, some of the best times I've ever had. It's great. A lot of PlayStation 2. It was good. But I start like not eating, and I'm like, I'm gonna fast. And I'm also a heavy stoner at this time, like smoking every day.
In the munchies.
And you could not tell me that weed wasn't just a gift from the heavens. You know how like heavy stoners are?
Oh,
just
yeah.
like, oh, fuck you. Like it doesn't make you lazy. And I am
It's from the earth.
Yes. It's from the earth. So the diet is weed, Coors Light, smoking cigarettes
and Coors
at
Light.
the time, and pizza. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm a big boy, disheveled, but like I think I look dope. Like when I look in the mirror, I'm like, you look good. If you're high, yeah, it's insane.
Got swag, boy.
Yeah. So basically, I do the thing. I stop eating, and I trip out again. I don't
How
know
the fuck do you stop eating when you got the munchies though? Don't you?
Dude,
just like-
no. So I knew I needed to stop smoking too.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm like kind of, and you're not, what do they say, weed? You're not, it's not physically addictive, but it's psychologically addictive. So I'm going through this whole thing, like I gotta find myself, I'm not living right, blah, blah, blah. And I end up tripping balls again. And I'll just tell you, this is safe. Is this a safe place?
This is a trust
Yeah.
tree.
Is this
Oh,
a
yeah.
safe space? So a huge critical thing that happened. The Navy thing was big for me because I was like, I've never attempted something and failed at it. And that really pissed me off. And then now I'm just living like a stoner turd. In between this time of trying to find myself, when I was 25 years old on Memorial Day, I was at a party, and friends are all fucked up. I'm not fucked up. I had one beer, and they're upstairs in a bedroom. I'm downstairs, and it's another house. It's like a dope house where just young, like we're all like kids of privilege. Our parents are all this nice Orange County, but the kid's kind of a knucklehead, and he had a 357 Magnum. And he pulls it out like when they're shit-faced and is like, "Check, if any fucking buddy comes by and tries to take my weed stash, this is what they're going to get." And I'm downstairs.
Bullets first.
Yeah.
I'm playing Halo downstairs. I
Ask
don't know
Derek about
any
that.
of this is going on. We had like a stripper coming or something. So it was like, oh, the party's still going on. And somehow in that exchange, it's a little fuzzy what happened. I wasn't in the room, but I hear a gunshot go off. Okay. And I'm fully a dirtbag at this point, but I had the police training, so I'm like, I know, and I grew up around guns. That was a gunshot. And everybody from upstairs, there's probably like 30 people at the party, comes streaming down, like fight or flight. This was flight, like running, terrified. And I'm like, I see one person that didn't come down the stairs, and it's my best friend that I grew up next door to since I was 12. And I'm walking up the stairs, and I'm like, okay, he didn't come out. And so I walked to the top of the stairs, and there's my friend and everything. Yeah, he had somehow.
Fuck.
Holy shit.
Right. And then within that next year, his mom didn't believe that it was
Suicide.
right. She believed that somehow there was a misfire from this. And I'm the one who picks up the phone, calls the cops, And like, we all know each other in this neighborhood. The guy that shows up, who's the officer in charge, the sergeant, he knows
Yeah.
the dead kid. He knows everybody. So for the next year, again, should have got some help, should have seen somebody, have no idea that like this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And I don't know what PTSD is or anything like that. So that's where we come up to. This event had happened, and it's leading up to the year from where that happened. And so I'm not eating, I'm not taking care of myself. And I end up like just cruising for 2 days, leaving the house, and I come back and like my friends are there and they're like, where have you been? And I was just out like looking, searching, right?
Fasting,
trying to get some help for my broken mind and my broken soul, and trying to put together everything I saw and everything that I experienced. And you have to remember the people I'm living with, like a couple of them obviously they all know what had happened with my friend that died. So they see me acting weird. They get weirded out because we sit down to smoke, and I'm in this fasting state, and I hit the bong, and I get up and I start acting weird. So they take off. They call the cops because my dad has his gun safe there that he's kept there because he was a SWAT cop and all this. I don't know the combination to get into my dad's gun safe, but they're thinking John's like so they tell the cops, hey, this dude has his gun safe, his dad's gun safe, like whatever. And I'm sitting in there like on another planet. Like Batman had just came out, the good one with Christian Bale. I'm thinking like I'm Batman, having a good time, and there's a knock on the door.
It's Bane.
I look out the window, I see the 2 Orange County deputies. I'm like, I'm not answering. And I just kind of sit back, and they're knocking. Finally, I open the door, and they do that trick that the
guys,
cops always do. Yeah, how you doing? And the cops are like, we need you to please step outside. You don't have to step outside, by the way.
Yeah.
But I did.
You probably shouldn't.
I did. And they detain me, and it's June 3rd, 2006, and it's like 85 degrees. These dudes put me in the back of the police car, and the fucking heater's on, and the windows are up, and I'm cuffed, and I'm looking out, and I see my stoner roommate friends coming back, and they're all high, but they're like telling the cops, no, we're not high. Like, this is our friend. Da, da, da. So they're looking around the house, and I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, I know what they're doing. They could crack a window. They could do this, that, the other thing. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is a test.
I've waited 20 years.
And I'm barefoot, by the way. So I lay down and I go, boom. And I boot the window out, and the window shatters, and the cop walks up and he's like, you were just detained. Now you're going to jail. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Should have turned
Like,
the AC
maybe
on,
turn the fucking AC on,
Right.
kid. I'm having
Right.
a fucking heat stroke back
And not
here.
only that, this is before like this is when California actually enforced the law. They go felony vandalism because this window, you also damaged the frame, is over $400. And I'm like, what? So my dad flies down again, pick up his crazy son, and I had been with who's now my wife for 17 years. I had broken up with her because I tried to hide the fact that I was a stoner. She's a good girl. So we had been broken up maybe like 3 weeks. And so I think my life's over because I got arrested. As a cop's kid, you're like, I'm not going to be able to get a job. My life is over.
Yeah.
And then all these people start telling me, your life's not over. You're just fucking dumb. Like, you're stupid.
So many more stupid things you can
so
do.
again, I'm worried, like, am I insane? So my parents take me to like the best person, and this is what they tell my mom and dad. They're like,
He's insane.
that shit. They go, your son has no mental illness. He does party quite a bit. So maybe tone it down, and he should be fine. And so I took that, and I was like, okay.
Fuck that.
Send him in the military.
Let's go harder.
It's a test.
And so my now wife, she hears this story, which sounds like absolutely like a crazy person.
Cry for help.
Yes. And she goes, oh, he's going to be living out on the streets. And my dad's like, you know what? This was totally screwed up. You living in our house. You're coming to live with me and mom up in Sacramento. And he's like, we're going We're going to take care of this like within the family. So he brings me up there. They keep an eye on me for a couple months. And basically it's like the come to Jesus. Like, you're going to go to church with us. You're going to blah, blah, blah. Mom's going to cook you meals. I start taking a lot of long runs and stuff and get my act together and come back. And I'm home maybe like 2 months. I get a job and I'm out one night and we're at a bar and I'm like, this just isn't fun anymore. Like partying with friends. I'm living in Laguna Beach and I'm like, I see you guys. It's like 9:30 at night.
Get arrested.
Yeah. I go back to my apartment and my ex-girlfriend, who's now my wife, happens to show up at this bar. And she's like, hey, what's going on with John? And they're like, he was actually just here. He lives up the road. And she goes, take me over to his house. And I had prayed, this is true, like 3 days before this, I said, I'm done with women. I'm over it. God, if there's a woman out there for me, bring her to my doorstep.
That's exactly
and I'm
how
sitting
I met my
there
wife.
like laying there going like, I don't want to party anymore. You know, I'm done with women. And my friend dropped her off and fucking bailed. He didn't wait. He just dropped, like he knew.
Wow.
And we haven't been apart since.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
And she, it was insane. It was the best thing that ever happened. And now we have 2 amazing children. And I have not gone off the rails since. So yeah, almost 20 years now.
Man.
Want some whiskey?
Want to chase some demons? Let's go.
It's a test.
We're in the wrong part of town for that to be
But
fun.
I know
It's
you
a
guys.
test.
I know you guys have been through a lot of stuff, you know. But it's true. I'm just battling those demons from Great Lakes, Illinois, all these years later. It was tough. It was hard.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, we get all these messages, and we get a variety of messages, but a lot of them, I'd say, the majority of them are from people who just are dealing with their own lives, and sometimes it's some crazy stuff. More often than not, it's just like, hey man, things aren't going my way right now.
Yeah.
Life's difficult no matter what you're doing. Like, there's always challenges, and a lot of them feel like, you know, alone. Like, they don't have a partner, they don't have a community, they don't have people to talk with.
Yeah.
Dude, like we were talking on the phone this morning about this, dude. I think the best thing that a man can do, because I don't know how to be a good woman because I'm not a woman, but it's like,
There's a cure for that.
but I know from a guy's perspective is that we need certain things and we communicate different than women. And I think the best thing that you can do is surround yourself with people who they don't even necessarily need to understand you, but you can just have a conversation with. And just get together and fucking just
But
chat.
the other thing too is like I'll speak to my friend, and I have 3 friends that are no longer with us, and it was suicide because of a woman that broke their heart. And there's some dad issues there too.
Yeah.
And I look back now, and there were moments, and these are my friends, where I knew in my 20s, I looked at them and I'm like, something's really wrong. I can see it in the eyes, and I just bullshitted and I made jokes and we kept going on. And that is a moment where you need to go like, dude, come here. And you bring them in, you give them a hug, you sit them down, you're like, I've been there. Like, I'll say this. All the shit I went through with the Navy, all the stuff with the arrest, all the stuff I've shared with you, a lot of people don't share this kind of stuff, but it's extremely common.
Oh, yeah.
And it made me such a better paramedic. I was so sensitive. I was like the crazy whisperer. They'd be like, Freeman, we can't get to this one. I'd be like, got it. Come sit down. And that's from like a housewife who has taken the wrong medication, and now she's manic and she's overly sexual and she's saying shit that you're like, oh my gosh. I'd just be like, got it. This isn't who you are.
Let me spit on that thing.
Exactly. And people respond to stress differently. We're all chemically made up different, but those moments when you need to help somebody, you need to do that. And that whole thing, like my dad's generation was, man, you don't talk about anything. You bury that shit deep down inside.
Yeah.
That is the wrong approach. And I love that there's more conversations about this stuff, which is why I share it. And it's so much more common now for people to talk about this stuff. It's not weird. It happened. You have one life. Talk about it.
And the other side of the pendulum too is that all these fucking nerds who are like, they have one bad experience. They're like, oh, I'm traumatized for life. And it's
Dude,
all they fucking
I
talk
know,
about.
I
I'm
know,
like, bro.
I know.
Like,
And he
sack
was
up
being
a little.
bullied
Yeah.
in high school.
You're right about that.
Yeah. I'm
You're
like,
right about
dude,
that.
I think the middle ground is like, you got to find whatever's even keel for you.
Yes.
And find those people who call you on your shit. Find those people who want to see you live and do better, and listen to them. And find people who are going to be fucking honest with you.
And there is hope.
Dude,
Yeah.
this is
Don't
what
give
I would
up
say.
on yourself.
I would say this. I was in such a dark place in parts of my 20s, and if you could have shown me where I am now, I would just go, "Oh, that's coming down the pipe if I hold fast and I just make some better choices,
Yeah.
surround myself with some better humans, some people that are rooting for me
Yeah.
and want to see the best for me, and just don't be such a, like, you don't have to redline it all the time. You don't have to be such a psycho. Like,
Yeah.
this is a gift. Enjoy
Yeah.
the gift." And that's what I tell guys. I'm like, you have no idea how good it's going to get. And
Exactly.
you don't know. Like, when you least expect it, you're going to meet some woman and you're going to go, oh, what? Today was the day?
So
this
funny.
happens?
Excuse me. But when you're describing your situation, is very similar to my situation. The only time I ever thought about killing myself was over a chick. Nothing to do with military or anything like that. I was just upset over a chick, which at the time seemed like the biggest fucking deal,
Yep.
obviously. But looking back, I'm like, bro, thank God I didn't get what I wanted.
100%.
Thank God it didn't work out.
100%.
And I had to just move through that, and then, you know, the universe showed me a different way and a different path that turned out to be way fucking better.
Yes.
But I'm like, bro, if I hadn't like moved through that moment,
It's a moment.
it's a moment.
Dude, so
Yeah.
I'll tell you this too, and this is
It
this
gets
is
better,
personal,
bro.
but I do not care. Like I said, you're like, is anything off limits? I'm like, nope. If something helps somebody, something helps somebody. When I got back from the Navy, I felt like such a failure. Because again, this was like the biggest thing I'd ever attempted. And I spent almost 2 years preparing physically for this thing. And then it was just like over before it even started. And I was still like not in my right mind at home.
Yeah.
And it had I kept this inside, I think there would have been a different
Outcome.
I don't know. Yes.
Yeah.
I said to my dad, I go, Dad, I don't think my brain's ever going to be right again. And I'm this is going through my brain like 100 times a day. I'm picturing clacking myself. And like, that seems like a great choice. And I told him that. And then the next day I knew where he kept one of his guns. No one was home. They weren't there. And I went into the closet where he kept his gun, and he had moved the gun. And then I just went, and went back to my room.
Yeah.
And had I not said that and expressed, like, I knew enough to know, like, this is not normal.
Yeah.
Why would you be thinking about this 100 times a day? But you have to tell people it's not a weakness. It's not at all. And like, this is life, dude. Life's hard. It's really hard. And like you said, though, I mean, yeah, there are people that like, you're like, oh, that was your trauma? That was your worst day? Okay, that doesn't seem, but
Yeah,
It's
but
going to get worse.
Yeah.
No,
Stand
just
by.
Kidding. Just kidding.
No, but that's the
Stand by.
thing, man. It's like the worst thing you've been through is always the worst thing that
Yeah.
you've been through. And it
Yeah.
feels like, even if it's small, relatively speaking, at the time, it feels like a lot. And you just gotta fucking move through it.
And then I'll say this too, like I was telling you on the phone, every time I would attempt one of these things, whether it's like law enforcement, the military, the fire thing, which is what I thought a man is supposed to be. Like, this is what a man does, because this is like
Yeah.
who my uncles are, my father, even though I'm so different. I'm so much more sensitive. I'm so, like, physically, I can do the things, but mentally, I'm a very different person. Every single time there would be an instructor in one of those places that would take me aside and be like, do you really want to be here? And I would be like, sometimes I'd be like, yes, sir, I do. But sometimes I would go, yeah, you know, like, I guess. And I've always kind of been that way. Like,
Yeah.
unless I really love something and am passionate about it. And I hated those guys at the time for doing that and calling me out. They were 100% correct. Like, I remember a guy like in a fire academy just going, you shouldn't be here, Freeman. You're not a firefighter. And I was like, yes, I am, sir. Like, I'll show you. And then now,
Shut up, nerd.
yeah, and I hated him for years after. And now I'm like, if I saw him, I go, thank you, God. Like,
You're right.
You're
Yeah.
100% correct. Wouldn't want anything to do with this.
It's funny too because we talked earlier about on the phone about like the alpha mentality and trying
Yeah.
to prove yourself. But I thought about it after I got the phone, and I realized that a lot of the people who I would consider in my life like the most alpha type personalities are not like physically. It's nothing to do with physicality. Like you guys met my buddy Ahmed, right?
Yeah.
Total alpha mentality guy, and Jordan Peterson, not the most physically alpha guy, but definitely an alpha personality. Stephen Hawking, I think, would qualify for this too. Obviously not physically capable of being alpha.
What?
But his mentality,
Well,
like,
not anymore.
yeah. But I think
Rest in
it's
peace.
I think it's more of a mentality and like how you approach life and just your disposition and character and what you choose to attack and what you choose to succumb to is more of the definition of what an alpha would be rather than any physical characteristics. I know a lot of people who are physically super fucking capable, but complete fucking bitches.
Yeah.
So alpha means different than most people I think would
agree.
expect in like a job title.
Yeah.
It's weird too because I remember being an instructor out of the third phase, and we had a student that either quit or was dropped for like safety violations or some shit. And I just remember at one point there was a group of dudes. It was like one of the times when we still had a fucking like a party at the fucking hell box out there. And I just remember the group of students, and they were like talking about this dude, and they're like, yeah, that fucking guy, and I just remember like kind of overhearing, I like kind of inserted myself into their conversation. It was just like it was very evident that they had kind of felt betrayed that this dude had quit because they were all good friends and they had all fucking looked forward to moving through this community together, and they felt betrayed. And I was just like, dude, he could still be your fucking friend. He's still a good dude.
Yeah.
Not everybody's cut out to be a fucking team guy.
It's a hard
he's
mentality like that, though.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, at that time,
Especially in that moment.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like we were talking about earlier about guys that kind of like buckled under pressure, like when, you know, like our first tick, right? And I just remember looking at him, and I was like ashamed for him, you know, and I felt negative towards him because of it, and also because these guys are like E4s or E5s or 6s, and I thought differently, and then I read On Combat and On Killing.
Yeah.
And like this has been going on since the dawn of time.
It's not natural.
No.
Yeah, and it's not natural. And I think also, you know, what we were inclined to do and having no feelings and emotion behind it also wasn't natural. You know, this like sociopathic tendency.
Yeah.
And then I was very conflicted, like my last pump in Afghanistan, because I hated the guys that were kind of like the bitches or, you know, were apprehensive about, you know, shooting an enemy combatant. But then also I was having my own internal struggle of like, why don't I care?
Yeah.
Like, why is this so easy for me?
Yeah.
And that dichotomy was quite a struggle there for a little bit.
Yeah. We had guys in 03 in another platoon that were, I remember we did a hit on a fucking house out in like Ramadi, and there was a huge fucking cache of weapons out there. And basically what happened, dudes went through the door, and dude charged the door, and they fucking smoked this dude. And it was one of the things that were everybody kind of second guessed the number one man. They're like, dude, why the fuck why did you shoot that guy? And it wasn't because he was, you know, everybody likes to armchair quarterback and be like, oh my God.
Wait,
like,
so our number one guy smoked somebody else on the inside, or our number one guy got smoked by
No.
somebody else?
Our number one guy fucking smoked the fucking the
Guy charged at the
the
door.
fucking HVT. And he had a target package. I mean, it's not like he was a fucking nice guy. I mean, he had a huge cache of weapons and shit. He'd been known for, he was a fucking insurgent, all this shit, you know. But he wasn't armed when they went through the door. I mean, later, once they fucking exploited the whole house, I mean, he had fucking guns all over the place and, I mean, all kinds of shit. And so, but I just remember there were dudes from the platoon, like, you know, you can hear, like, dudes, like, making snide comments and shit. And they had went to, like, the fucking task unit head shed and were like, you know, we don't know if we feel comfortable with this guy, like, And it was like, what the fuck, man?
If the guy's
like,
rushing the door after a breach, it's not to fucking give you a
yeah,
hug.
that's the thing.
know,
and that was
right?
the thing. And there were comments made like, oh, dude, you know, he's somebody's father. And he's
Shut
somebody,
the
and you're
fuck
like,
up, dude. So is fucking
yeah.
every
and
other
so was that
fucking-
guy.
Yeah.
So
You're
was
like,
Hitler.
oh, so it's
Yeah.
either him or me type thing. But, you know, going back to what you're saying, it's like one of those things where, I mean, you don't want a guy that's going to, you know, you don't want a guy in your fucking train that's necessarily a conscientious objector, but at the same time, you want some fucking guy that's just a fucking cold-blooded killer too.
Yeah.
Who's just going to indiscriminately just start shooting people in the fucking head.
Yeah.
There's got to be a fucking happy medium and a smart level of processing what you're seeing, you know. But that the fucking whole armchair quarterback shit. Especially dudes who were like outside the door and guys are going, oh man, that was kind of fucked up. You should have just gave him you know, it's like when people go to cops, oh,
should have shot him in the
why
leg.
the fuck didn't they tase the guy? Or you could have shot him in the leg. And you're like, dude, first of all, you weren't fucking there. Second of all, our protocol says when the use of fucking deadly force has been authorized, you fucking shoot until the motherfucker stops moving or whatever. If he's not armed, then then you can tase him or pepper spray him or whatever. But, you know to have that level of second guessing by people that aren't there, you're like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
There's a term I've always fucking hated called sheepdog.
I hate that term.
I fucking hate that term because it implies that you're not equal to a wolf. You know what I mean? So the term that I prefer is like I don't know what you
Wolf
call black or
dog.
white, but a wolf versus wolf, right? But if you can have a wolf, but a more violent wolf, a more trained wolf, a more calculated wolf to go against a wolf, that seems like a better use of everything.
Like a
But
werewolf.
like a werewolf.
He's a normal guy until we get him in the zone.
Man bear pig. Yeah, but I never liked that fucking sheepdog term because I was like, it implies this kind of like docileness, and homeliness. Oh, we're just a good person, but I can turn it on when I need to. Like, no, there are some people that there are those people who are sheepdogs and they're capable of violence, but they're normally like homebody people and they can turn on when they need to. You also need the other people who are fucking wolves and they can
Break
put on
glass in case of war.
and they can put on sheepdog clothing when they fucking need to, but they're a wolf at heart. And I think that depending on which spectrum and what you're asking people to do and for how long and what velocity, it's like a lot of these roles, they're not meant for sheepdogs. They're not meant for dogs. They're meant, if you want to fight wolves, you need a fucking pack of wolves.
I have to ask you though, on that note, like you said, in case of war, break glass. So there is this myth out there. You tell me if it's true or if it's not true, that there are certain guys. I personally don't understand how you could go to war and not be affected negatively in some way from all that. That's just, you're a human being. Are there guys that are like, I loved it. It was the best. I would do it again. And do you believe them, or is that all bullshit? Are you? Is that I mean, honestly, are there some dudes that are just kind of like, I had a great time?
But at the same time, it's the longer you're away from it, the more conditioned. Oh, like whenever I was doing like platoon after platoon after platoon, like back to back Iraq, I would come home and it would be like, dude, I'd be paranoid as a motherfucker, dude.
Right.
I'd be like hyper vigilant, and I didn't really see it at the time. And actually, the first time I really noticed it was when I watched that movie American Sniper, and I saw Chris Kyle's like,
we're sitting in his chair.
Well, when he's at the birthday party and he's watching the news, and his wife's going, Chris, and like not hearing him, and then finally he looks and he sees. He's like, oh, and then it kind of clicked for me because, dude, Gabby all the time they'd be like, hey, let's go to Disneyland. I'm like, you guys have fun. I'm not going anywhere near that fucking place.
Yeah.
Which, not to say I didn't, but whenever I was there, dude, I was just fucking miserable because the whole time I'm like,
you're like, it's a giant target.
Pushing a baby stroller, and I'm like,
and now you're with your kids.
Just stressed the fuck out. Hyper level of stress, and then, or same thing like the Del Mar Fairgrounds. And it was like one of those things, like, and I'm not trying to make an excuse for like fucking booze, but it's like, well, this helps. get a little bit of fucking boozy, and now you're like, okay, I can kind of fucking relax a little bit, but I think the longer you're away from it, because like I think one of my last deployments, and then I went to like third phase, you start to kind of get away from that shit to where you're like, okay, fuck, man. And I don't know if it's just because you're not stepping back into a fucking hornet's nest of shit. And I mean, the level of contact also, like with the first, like 03, 04, 04, 05, 06, 07, like it was still heightened state of, okay, you're gonna get into something. 08, 09 was a little less. 2010, 2011, or 2011, 2012.
Afghanistan.
Yeah, it was a little bit less. It's like, okay, yeah, we're over here, but yeah, nothing's going on. You're still with it, but yeah, I definitely feel like the longer you're away from it, because I mean, I would see buddies of mine that would go in contract and come back, and they would be like, dude, hey, let's go get some fucking beers. And it's like, goo. And I know they're going right back over there. And
that was me.
PSD or executive protection shit is even worse, because you're not on the offensive, you're on the defensive. You're fucking rolling. You're waiting to counteract something that happens. So you're driving, you're trying to look at every angle.
Exhausting.
You're playing the constant game.
It is fucking exhausting as fuck.
Yeah.
Stressful as fuck.
Blackwater fucked me up more than the military did.
Yeah.
And by fuck me up, like there's two different mindsets of it, where and to your question is, like, I thoroughly enjoyed war. Like, I always wanted to be deployed. Like, I fucking loved it. And like,
it's easier than paying bills at home.
I had this ego.
Yeah.
But the one thing, like, I don't really feel like I ever came back like with PTSD. I think the hardest lesson I had to learn is that you're just so used to watching or like handing out ass that when your team finally takes an L, like, that's not usually, like, that wasn't written in the book. Right. Like that wasn't planned for. And being as close to those people that you are, like, that's when it hits. But you can go two different routes with that. You either go down the, kind of, what was me, I feel really bad for this and that route, or you turn into a fucking war animal, because now you just use all that sadness and anger and everything, and you just turn it back into what you are and what you're capable of and what you've become. And so it turned me into a fucking war animal. So like every guy that we lost, all I wanted to do was just kill more. And then when moving over to Blackwater, that was way harder, because I was in 3 months on contract and 1 month home, and 3 months on and 1 month back. And at B-Dub, everybody there is a fucking alpha. Everybody. And if they aren't, they sure as fuck act like it, right? And so you have to like always like trump your teeth. Like it's like constant like rutting season, like on contract, where like you have to like, you're hooking horns, you're like fighting for position, you're trying to stay relevant, you're trying to shoot better, faster, quicker. And then you come back home for a month, and like that shit is impossible to turn off. And
Stop hugging me, bitch! You're making me soft.
Literally. But then it's just this and this and this, and then you're just like, I'm fucking sending it for 30 days straight because I got to go right back.
Yeah.
And then you go right back, and you get right back into the mix.
Stress level's like,
yeah.
Like,
and it's just
in the clouds.
It couldn't go away, and I couldn't turn it off. Whereas like post deployments, you're kind of chilling for a little bit, and then you're doing. Train up with the guys, you're kind of on QRF status and all of that. So
the cortisol levels, how fucked up they are from like up, down, adrenaline. I'm sure you guys are well familiar. I cannot
why
imagine.
I am the way I am. And it's honestly a constant battle, because you're just like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
It's like, why? Like, why? This is so lame. And that's why I'm so like, have my hands in so many different things and try to entertain myself, attempting with so many, I guess, endorphins and dopamine dumps of happy shit, whether it be the Zodiacs or spearfishing or fucking snowboarding or jumping out of helicopters or fast roping. It's like trying to get all of this. Yeah. Because like being fucking a stay-at-home dad just kind of like sounds
I'm right
rough.
there with you. My war on terror with 0102 Great Lakes, like I said. Then it's not talked about, and that's the thing that sucks. That's why I was excited to be here. We lost a lot of good men out there. That was terrible.
Oh, you
Yeah.
gotta tell us quickly about some of the guys you found on that floor.
On the floor?
Like the last floor where
The padded room floor.
Oh, dude, this was dope. So yeah, you're talking when I was locked up.
Yeah.
I got okay. So for real, let's just be real talk. I was having full visual hallucinations. Like when I first got in there, I remember, and this took me years to be like, I don't think that's real.
Yeah.
Like the things you saw, I wasn't sleeping at this point because of whatever reason, the steroids, this, that. I remember I'd wake up in the morning and then they'd be like,
They weren't still giving you shit, were they?
no. So this was I forgot to mention that. This is part of the story. I was in this place and they would be like, how long do you think you slept? I'd be like, 8 hours. They'd be like, you were walking around this place all night. You slept like maybe 45 minutes an hour, which is why I was asking you, like, does everybody lose their mind when they're sleep deprived?
Yes.
So I'm in that place, and there's a really big black guy that was a dude that would come over and crawl over and like look at my shit. And I remember complaining about that, and then they talked to him about it. And then there was another guy another black dude who was like 100% like was playing it up. I don't think he just wanted to get out of the Navy. Yeah, because somebody gave me, I think it was my drill instructor or what, again, RDC, whatever they're called. At some point I decided I wanted to be an artist when I was in there. I told someone I wanted. So he bought me this really nice, as a Christmas gift, an art kit. And that kid who was in there was like, I'm actually good at art. Why don't you give that to me? And I gave it to him. The staff, though, was bizarre. The Navy, like people that worked there was a flaming dude who would come out. Eventually, they started to give me medication, okay? But I was doing what they call gumming it. I wasn't taking it. I would make it look like I was taking it. And then they're like, no, you have to do it. And I did have another escape at the place. So this is true, in the isolated
Fucking
place
Harry Houdini
where I was
over here.
at, I was in the place.
You're gonna have fun at SEER school.
And they would
I know, right?
they would bring us our food, our meals, and we would watch movies. And I was seeing things in the movies we would watch. Like when you're in that state, the way I would describe it, like everything has meaning. You think the TV's talking to you.
It's like shrooms.
Yeah, you're misinterpreting all the signals. But eventually they let us go down to like a basketball court that was there and play a little basketball and have a meal at a place that was outside of it. And I remember it was snowing and I did a runner from the cafeteria and same thing. This dude was chasing me in the snow. One of the guys that was like our babysitter. Eventually I stopped. They brought me back. Dude, it was just the most bizarre thing. Like, you're in a mental hospital. But it was kind of sad, man. Like, it was really sad.
Bet.
Like, I cried a lot. I remember sitting in the bathroom and literally seeing things on the bathroom door, like numbers and shit, that now I look back and I'm like, they didn't allow graffiti inside there's no way that was.
Yeah.
But I thought that was
Unless
real.
you're writing in blood.
Correct. I thought it was, and they give you those razors that aren't really razors because they don't want you to,
Yeah.
But the thing with my dad was the worst. I guess, like, I didn't even know I said this. He said, you told me, like, you're a piece of shit, Dad. Like, I don't believe anything you ever told me. Like, God isn't real. Like, I was saying crazy stuff to my dad. And I remember him crying. But that was just a person that wasn't in his right mind.
That's
you know
nuts.
what I mean?
Well, glad you came out of that
Yeah.
too. I mean, because that's essentially some perma-fried 60 shit.
And you know what they do after that? They don't fly you home. Do you know what they gave me? A Greyhound bus.
Oh, perfect.
From Chicago. So I'm out there, and who's on the bus? It's all crazy people. It's all
Facts.
sketchy people.
Another asylum.
And I'm sitting, this is funny, dude. And the first place we stop on the bus, I get out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a Carl's Jr. That's not a Carl's Jr. What is a Hardee's?
Hardee's.
I did not know that a Hardee's was like the same star.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was some other thing. I'm
East
like,
of the Mississippi.
this is I'm in a movie. There's a place called Hardee's. It was wild, bro. And that movie Orange County, do you remember the movie Orange
Yeah.
County?
Yeah.
It came out
Jack Black.
while I was in, he's so good in that. It came out while I was in the mental hospital. the commercial came on, and I was like, they made a movie about my life. There's a movie, like I thought I made, like, that's about me. Yeah, it was bad, dude. It was bad.
Yeah, when I graduated basic, I tried to save money in order to go back home. And so I took the Greyhound bus from Georgia to fucking Phoenix, Arizona.
Holy shit.
Holy
That took like a week.
Yeah, it took like 5 days. Dude, my mic keeps on fucking up. It took like 5 days, and I got spit on by like old Vietnam vets, calling me baby killer.
Wait, I thought they spit on the Vietnam vets. Why did they spit on you?
I got spit on too because like I had to wear my uniform and like I had to wear Class A's like while traveling and all of that.
God.
So I'm wearing like brand new private. Yeah, dude, never doing that again. And then we get off at the bus station. I already knew what Hardee's was, so like that wasn't too much of a shocker. Whataburger, however, threw me for a loop in Texas. So I'm like,
It's the worst.
they're
Don't even
asking
get me
what's a
started on
burger,
that place.
and they make burgers. What a burger! I'm like, dude, what the fuck is this? So I had it, and I was like, this isn't In-N-Out.
It's true.
Yeah.
But don't be scared to talk about these things. Again, my mom's gonna be like, "You did what? You went on a podcast?" It's still, dude. I get around my parents. I'm like a little boy still. 46-year-old man, dude. I'll be like, "Mom, I can do
Your
what I want."
parents are still together. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. They've been. My parents are in. They're amazing, dude. They've been married 56 years.
Dang.
Wow.
And my dad's true blue, man. He's a real deal. He's a good man, and my mom's a good woman.
But you just said you called him a
Dude, how's this wild shit? My grandfather is still alive. He's a silver fox, George Freeman. He's 93 years old. He has 3 girlfriends, and guess what just happened to him? He lives in
Somebody
Havasu.
pregnant?
Lives in Havasu. He's riding his e-bike at 93 over to his chick's place, one of his chick's place, ate shit, broke a bunch of ribs, and screwed it, but he's still like getting back in. He looks insane.
Jesus,
he got
dude.
plastic surgery at 91
Whoa.
for his
Nice.
lids, dude. He's keeping it tight.
Wow.
He's going.
good on him,
wild.
dude.
I know.
Fuck yeah.
93 with
93.
girlfriends, like,
Yeah.
I at 93, you still expected to lay pipe?
The
Yeah.
magic,
I
the
think
magic
it's
of
possible.
Cialis, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, so my granddad,
think
my
I'd have a heart
dad's
attack.
dad, he had 3 wives at one point, like,
Sister wives?
no, like
In sequence.
married
not
one.
at the same time.
And, but it was so funny. My dad's mom was the last. No, I take that back. She was the last woman he was married to. But yeah, I'm all like. But when I knew him, he wasn't married, and it was so funny. My mom used to always be like, "Yeah, you're talking to my dad." And he'd be like, "Yeah, your dad's out checking his cat traps." And I'm like, "Oh." She would always say that, dude. I never knew what the fuck it meant.
I know.
I never knew what it meant. It's
a pussy catcher.
I'm like, he's out trolling for pussy. I'm like, checking the cat traps. I'm like,
How am I just now learning about this?
These stories,
it took me
though,
20 years to figure that shit out.
They don't tell you these stories. And like my grandpa, this is when like everything, the house of cards fell apart. He's married to my grandma for like almost 60 years. Grandma dies. She's not even cold yet. We buried her. He marries his hairdresser 3 weeks later.
Whoa.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
She's
Hairdresser,
since
not even a
passed.
barber.
She's since passed. He's still out chasing chicks. And like this dude, he doesn't drink. He's never done drugs. But his drug is the ladies.
Yeah.
And he is about it.
Checking
gotta
them
have
cat
something.
traps.
Cat traps. I'm going
On
to
his
use that
e-bike.
forever.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll get a golf cart now.
I know, right?
Dude.
Where'd you say he lives?
Lake Havasu.
Havasu, dude.
Oh, yeah, the checks out.
Yeah,
Especially
Havasu is a
during
weird
spring
place,
break.
man. I moved
Dude.
out there after I dropped out of high school.
Girls Gone Wild.
It was
The
pretty-
heyday.
It was
Yep.
crazy in '95. I'm sure
It was
pretty
crazy
fucking
in 04. That was still a good time.
Still crazy.
That's a wild town, dude.
It is.
It's a wild town.
It is.
Those desert people, dude. Woo.
Yeah.
Different breed.
Ever hung out in Scottsdale at a bachelor party?
Lots of fat strippers and midgets.
No, they ain't fat.
That bitch is dropping from the ceiling.
They're just poor women from Newport that move out there.
Dude, I think about this all the time, though. Like, in my family, I think I'm the guy that they don't think, like, he can handle the truth. So, like, the shit I've been told my whole life, a lot of it, I'm like, I don't even know if it's true. No, I'm serious. Because I found out stuff, like, down the road that I didn't know about. Can I tell? This mom's not gonna like. Nah, I shouldn't tell that one.
All right.
No, I can't tell that one. But anyways, no one tells me shit, and it upsets me. I can handle it. You know what I mean?
I
can handle
think
it.
you should have an adult conversation with your kids after a certain point.
Yeah,
you know?
it humanizes them.
Like my daughter's 20 now, and there's certain things I'm not gonna bring up with
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
Did she know her mom was a stripper?
Well, she didn't until now. Thanks a lot. Don't worry, she doesn't listen to the show. But
She's not a Patreon member.
no, no. But there's things I'm not going to share with her because like it doesn't.
Yeah, it's not relevant.
It doesn't help.
It's not going to help.
anything, you know?
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
you know, when she's older and she's asking different questions about different things, maybe that's the point to be like, hey. But I do think there is a point to where you stop treating your children like
Yes.
children.
Yeah.
I know because I've been with Disney since she was 22, and she's 12 years older now, and I've seen her family treat her completely differently. When we first started, dude, they treated her like a fucking child. They didn't give her any. I don't want to say respect, but like they didn't include her in stuff, and they were just kind of dismissing of her. And now
Maybe they just didn't like you.
that's possible. But now, like, she's kind of like she's one of the main people kind of running the show there, and it's because they're having adult conversations now, and they included her over the last 12 years over.
That's good.
Yeah.
A lot of
That's
stuff.
awesome.
But I've seen the family dynamic change a lot over that. Just communication.
I was a black sheep for a long time, and now I'm kind of fully read in and even sometimes ask advice.
Oh,
And
that's
I'm like-
exciting. That's good.
Interesting. I'm like, which, it's nice now. And then now I obviously my parents are my parents, but I look at them more as friends than anything.
Like, look in your eyes, like, grab your arm, check for track marks. Like,
No. I mean, there was a time they probably would
they're
have.
like, it's okay. He's clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's an important thing too. My dad was 20 when I was born, so like he wasn't around when I was a kid. But seeing him be a dad now to my little brother who's 20 is a whole different thing.
You have a 20-year-old brother?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, he's a dope kid, man.
That's a
but
big
it's
gap.
Like, so my dad wasn't around when I was a kid, and when I was around him, a lot of what I learned was like how I don't want to be, which is not to say my dad's a great guy.
Yeah.
Not the best dad, but a great guy.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things where a lot of what I learned about how I want to be is like, well, here's what I don't want to do and all this. Not to say he's not a bad guy. We had a great childhood. It was awesome. But it is cool now to see how he's grown up, and he's now 67, 68. And now he's like a phenomenal dad to my brother. And it's cool to see the dynamic, man.
I
Like,
love that.
How people change,
Yeah.
how people grow. Like there is no end to the growth
Yeah.
if you do it right. And I think too many people hold on to shit. Because I've had a good friend of mine had a very similar upbringing to me and my dad. And he holds on to it. My dad, he's got this terrible relationship with his dad. He's all mad at him all the time. Like, bro, we had the exact same fucking childhood.
Yeah.
And you're mad at I'm not mad at my dad. He's a great dude. I learned what I could at the time, and now I'm happy for him and
Yeah.
all this stuff. I'm like, bro, I think it's a lot of it. Like, dude, life is going to hand you a shit fucking sandwich, man. You just got to figure out what you can take from it and what you can learn from it, and just fucking make the best of what you can all the time.
How much are you going to eat?
Gobble, gobble.
Yeah.
You ready to wrap it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're over 3:30 already.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
All right, sweet. So, dude, thank you, John, for sharing these stories. This is a fucking hell of an adventure. we went
Namaste,
on.
gentlemen.
Oh,
It's good to be among brothers
Oh, this is
who've
gonna be amazing.
shared.
I'm so excited for like the Instagram clips on this. This is gonna be fucking killer. So one of the things you always ask too is like, what are the next projects you're working on? Like, what are you excited about next?
Yeah. So many projects. I don't know where to begin. No,
Surfer
I got
buddies.
nothing. I got nothing to plug. You can follow me at Jonathan Wayne Freeman. I have some stuff on YouTube, some shows and things I've done. If you want to go down the rabbit hole,
What's your YouTube channel? Same thing.
it's called Your New Dad. Yeah, that's the podcast.
Your New Dad.
I'm golfing a lot and I'm also surfing a lot. So sitting down once a week
What's
to
your home
record
course?
Oceanside Muni.
Okay.
Yeah, just broke 90 for the first time. Only took me
you go.
4
Nice.
years.
There you go.
But yeah, I would love if you followed my page.
That's on 9 holes, right?
It's 18. Come on, bro. You're a real golfer. I hit him straight. Yeah, and I'm excited for this next chapter. I've always thought to myself, like, all this kicked off when I was 40. I'm 46 now. I think any like legit thing that you're trying to build takes about a decade, just consistently doing that. And I've learned a lot the past few years, had a lot of awesome opportunities. I would just encourage anybody, if there's something that you want to go after, like, don't be afraid. I know it's scary. I had a wife, still have a wife, as far as I know, and kids, and I attempted to follow my dreams. So I know it's scary when you got that good job or you got that deal, but if you want to do something more creative or a business venture or something, it's all about relationships, and you just got to send it and go for it, and it'll be the most exciting time of your life, and it's not as scary. It's so rewarding. So yeah, if you could just follow me there, and this is going to sound crazy after everything I just said on this podcast, like whether I said some language I shouldn't have used or told some stories which I shouldn't have, but I feel like I'm being pulled in a completely different direction with my life. And I don't know if the comedy stuff is like, that's what I want to keep doing, or writing or doing all that. I feel like more I want to talk like I just talked and try to help younger people make better choices, because I think I'd be a lot further along now in my life had I made some better decisions. And yeah, it wouldn't have been that difficult. I just needed a mentor. So I think what I'm going to do in the next phase is speak more and kind of do what you guys are doing and try to grow my podcast and make it bigger. It's called Your New Dad. So if you give that a listen,
it'd be awesome.
I have guests every now and then, and it goes good. A lot of times it's just me. I keep it really short, like maybe 10, 15 minutes. And the whole premise was like, a lot of us have screwed up dads, right? And a lot of the people I talked about, like friends that aren't with us anymore, lost their fathers. They didn't have that mentor. So I basically keep it fun, keep it light, keep it real though, sometimes keep it serious. And I am that surrogate father. That's why it's called Your New Dad. And yeah, I just want to keep going in that direction. And it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm a fan of the show. I'm super proud of you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep growing this. It's super entertaining. And I don't know what it is. With podcasts, it's like just some magic sauce. And a lot of times it doesn't work. But the times I'm listening to your episodes, I want to keep listening, which is weird. I'm like a lot of times I'm like 10 minutes in. I've listened to some long ass shows that you guys have done, and whatever you're doing, keep it up. And I wish you all the best. And it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
We're just drinking and hanging out, which I think, like you said, communication. I think more people should do this if they're missing this in their life. Dude, just call up your friends and go hang out, have a good conversation. Community solves a lot of problems, man. I think that's what's missing in a lot of these.
It does. And
lives.
don't, dude. I know guys. I still do this. I've known dudes since the 8th grade, and we hang out and we joke a lot, we bullshit a lot, we laugh a lot, but it's okay to talk about the real things. That's like secretly what we're all actually craving. Like, I'm hurting. Would you talk to me? So as you get older, you realize that. But guess what? You can do that when you're 19.
Yeah.
You can do that when you're 20, 30. So when you hang out with your bros, just ask them like, what's up? No, for real. Are you good? Is everything good? Can I help you? And then it makes life better.
Let's get those pants off.
Yeah,
bro.
Not yours, mine.
Bro, thank you so much. This has been a fucking hell of an episode.
this
One
is
of my
fucking
favorites so
great,
far.
man.
Can I say the truth, you guys? I've never told that Navy story, and it's been something I wanted to talk about
Dude,
forever.
like 25 fucking years,
Yeah,
man.
because it was the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me, and it felt great to do it here at Liberty Risk.
Yeah.
I told you, this show is kind of like therapy.
That's
we just
it.
recorded
That's it.
You start calling it the Liberty Risk Therapy Project.
No shit. All right, fellas.
All right, let's
Right
go.
on.
Thank you.
Thanks.